Buddy, we got Jamie D back in the house. I'm Brian Shapiro, and we are going to be talking about, of course, shooting took place in Tennessee yesterday. We have a lot of updates for you, and we're going to get into it. Going to try to have some fun in hour number 2. We have 2 very funny comedians coming in studio. They have an upcoming show, and local comics. Always enjoy interviewing them. That's going to be hour number 2. But, Jamie, when I was doing the show to start yesterday, there was a lot of fluid information coming in regards to this shooting that took place, this school shooting in Tennessee, that 3 children under the age of 10 dead and 3 adults. It's just absolutely heartbreaking. And I don't like reporting on information and talking about it unless I have more facts.
Mm-hmm.
There were very few facts. Let's get Jamie's mic on because I don't think Jamie's mic is on.
Are you able to hear me?
There you go. Now my bad. Now I can hear you.
I can hear you.
Okay.
But before you get into that, I just want to say my heart and soul goes out to everybody who's affected by this mass shooting. This is a terrible situation to be in, and I couldn't imagine what everyone's going through. And so my condolences to them.
Yeah, it's a horrible situation. But today we're, obviously I want to give out more facts. I just watched the video, and I want to praise the Nashville police officers, several of them who did what you're supposed to do as a cop. They're heroes. They went in there. They didn't wait. They did the opposite, basically, of what the Uvalde police did, and they went right in and saved lives in the process and took out the shooter. I want to praise those police officers, and they're heroes, and they did their job, and they did it very well. And yes, I understand 6 lives are 6 too many, but it could have been even worse. I saw the video of this shooter, and I'm not going to say the name of the shooter, going in there with, by the way, 2 AR-15s. What a shocker. Oh, well, could have done the same thing with a knife or a pistol. Nope, there were 2 AR-15s that were used. For you idiots out there that want to continue to tell me you know all there is to know about guns, and, an AR-15 is not an assault weapon. Then why do they keep using AR-15s? We'll get to that. Gets me really angry. But Nashville police have released the graphic body cam footage from the shooting. And as I said, I want to start off by giving so much credit and the heroism to those police officers, because we hear so many times about what police officers should have done, and the cowards at Uvalde, rightfully so. But these officers are heroes. And as far as I'm concerned, Joe Biden should give them medals, because those are the type of police officers that I want. And they're heroes, and they risked their life, and they were selfless and going in every single room, and you could hear the urgency in their voices. And I just wanted to say that to start the show. Those officers did a hell of a job, and they're heroes.
Yeah, there was no confusion in their tactics, and it was great.
No question. So it's interesting what we're hearing from the right. Whether this is a trans person or not, should have no bearing on what took place. Now, there was a manifesto, and this 28-year-old went into this Christian school. We're probably going to find out more information on what was the motive. Clearly, this person was mentally deranged. Clearly,
legally they were. Actually.
Yes. What really is striking to me, which is what people should be talking about. And by the way, only people on the right are going after this person for being trans. You go after this person for killing innocent people, not for being trans. It's absurd. That's all we hear from the right. Trans. Interesting though, right? When somebody straight commits a mass shooting, you won't hear these people on the right talking about, that person was straight white male, MAGA supporter. No, you're not going to hear that from the right. But as soon as somebody might be trans, and by the way, we have no idea what this person's political identification is, whether a Democrat or a Republican, people assume, trans must have been a liberal or a Democrat. Those people are morons.
There are several trans people who are actually Republicans.
Of course there are trans people that are Republicans. Of course. And it should have no bearing on this story. And we're going to get more information. But here's what I find so troubling, Jamie, about this story. And there's so much to get into here. But the fact that this shooter was getting psychiatric help. And while this shooter was getting psychiatric help, according to police, the shooter was able to purchase multiple firearms from 5 different stores.
7.
5 guns from 7 different stores.
No. It was 7 from 5 different stores.
7 guns from 5 different stores. That is what I mean when I say we need to change the laws. When somebody is getting a psychiatric evaluation or getting psychiatric help, they shouldn't be able to purchase 1 gun. But so many Republicans across this nation that are in power want to make it easier for these types of people that might be mentally deranged to get their hands on weapons. And this is a perfect example of that. And if you don't believe me, I'm going to play a clip for you. This is Tennessee Governor Bill Lee, who has made it easier for criminals to get their hands on guns. He's made it easier for those that are mentally ill to get their hands on guns. 3 years ago, he announced permitless open carry firearms. Mm-hmm. I want to play this clip for you. This is the governor of Tennessee several years ago passing a bill making it easier for deranged individuals to get guns. Have a listen to this.
I'm announcing that we will be joining 16 other states in this nation by introducing a constitutional carry law in the state of Tennessee. This law would extend the constitutional right to carry a handgun to all law-abiding citizens with or without a permit who are 21 and older, except in restricted areas.
Yeah, there you go. He must be very proud of that. Republicans in Tennessee must be very proud of that. By the way, the 16 other states that passed that, Republicans. You don't even need a permit. Let's make it easier for people to have guns. Let's ignore the fact that this is a country that is infatuated with guns. This is a country where per 100 people, we have 140 guns. There are more guns in this country than people. But governors like Governor Bill Lee, Republican, will share his thoughts and prayers. And during Christmas, we'll share Christmas photos with him and his family carrying AR-15s. And that's totally okay. That's the norm with Republicans today. That's the norm. That's Governor Bill Lee. And then he goes out and he says, thoughts and prayers. No, you SOB, you're the reason why you're making it easier for people to have guns. We should make it more difficult for criminals to have guns. We should make it more difficult for mentally ill people to carry guns. But so many of these Republicans are making it easier.
Yeah, it makes no sense how you're going to sit here and say that you have your thoughts and prayers out to the families affected, but you're the one actually making it easier for mentally deranged people to have guns. If you look at what's going on in the media today, actually, there's a picture going around of the United States Congressman Rep. Andy Ogles that actually represents Nashville, Tennessee. Ogles, yes. Yep. And in the picture, you see him and his entire family with AR-15s and more, assault rifles and everything. Like, why do you have little kids with assault rifles taking a family picture? You want to talk about how there's mentally deranged people out here who are trans, who are gay, who are black, who are grooming their kids, but look at what you're doing in your own personal families.
By the way, Andy Ogles represents that district.
Yep.
Andy Ogles, who I've talked about on this show before, who is a despicable human being. When Joe Biden, during his State of the Union address, it was Ogles who interrupted him when Biden was talking about fentanyl, and Ogles said, it's all your fault. He's a despicable human being. Yes, you know what I think is sick? Giving your 6-year-old an AR-15 to hold in a picture. You are a sick individual. And it's Lauren Boebert and Republicans seem to do that. It was Lauren Boebert just days after a mass shooting in her district where she had a picture like that with her family. This is why we have this problem in our country. And many Republicans out there want to say, well, we need to do something about the mentally ill. First of all, that is a generic statement. We have mentally ill people all over the world. Why is it that we have this problem in this country? I'll tell you why. Because people like Andy Ogles and Governor Bill Lee and so many other Republicans out there are obsessed with their guns. Mm-hmm. They are obsessed. Democrats do not want to take all your guns away. That is a lie. There's not one Democrat in office that wants to not give you the right to bear arms and defend yourself. That is a lie being put forth by Republicans. What Democrats have talked about, what I have talked about, is an assault weapons ban, red flag laws, getting rid of the loopholes. In this type of situation, when somebody is under psychiatric evaluation and getting mental health, clearly this was a deranged individual who did this shooting in Texas, they should not be allowed to purchase a gun. This individual went into 5 different stores, right?
Yeah.
5 different stores.
And real quick, this did happen in Tennessee, Nashville, Tennessee.
Yes, Tennessee, yes. This should not be able to happen when you're under psychiatric evaluation.
Right.
You should not be able to purchase guns. But Governor Bill Lee has made it easier. Governor Abbott has made it easier. Ron DeSantis has made it easier. Many other Republicans are making it easier for people to purchase weapons.
Right.
Democrats believe, I don't speak for Democrats, by the way, but many people believe that are on the left that you should be allowed to defend yourself as long as you're a law-abiding citizen. Mm-hmm. You don't need an AR-15 to defend yourself.
At all.
You don't need assault weapons to defend yourself. Assault weapons were made for one reason and one reason only, to kill as many people as possible in a short period of time. That's why many of us call them weapons of war. Now, even though this shooter did have a handgun, This shooter had 2 assault weapons.
And those ones they used.
Exactly.
And what makes me even more upset, though, is the fact that even though this is a fact that we have assault rifles that are being used to create mass violence and create mass shootings, the Tennessee GOP senator still refuses to weigh in on banning AR-15s after this mass shooting. How can you sit here and not feel the need, Senator Bill Hagerty, who was a Tennessee Republican, to discuss calls to ban AR-15s after a mass shooting at a school in your area? This makes no sense. We're not at war with ourselves. This is not the Civil War. And even if it was, we don't need AR-15s. It makes no sense how you're going to sit here and tell me that people who are deranged, people who just want to have guns are able to have guns, and they're out here shooting kids.
And you're right, Jamie.
These kids don't have guns. Are
No.
they shooting? You want to sit here and say that guns should be able to be used by all to defend themselves. Are these kids able to defend themselves?
No.
So why do these people who are attacking these kids have the right to have guns?
And I agree with you, Jamie. We'll open up the phone line, 702-221-7283. And again, that number, if you want to be a part of the conversation, the number is 702-221-7283. And for those of you that want to get in the weeds on the right, oh, Brian, you don't know what you're talking about. It's not an assault weapon. Okay, then what are your solutions? I hear these generic statements from Republicans, mental health. That means nothing to me. What are your solutions to end or lower the gun violence in this country? Are we supposed to just put our hands in the air and say, oops, sorry, there's nothing we can do. Bad people are just going to get their hands on guns. No. I want to know what your solutions are, okay? If you disagree with me, and if you think that we shouldn't be doing anything and more guns are the answer, I want to know what your solutions are. Harden our schools, give guns to teachers. Yeah, I want to know.
What sense does that make?
Yeah, but it's interesting because many of these Republicans that complain about Democrats that never have passed a bill in their life, many of these Republicans, they have zero solutions. You'll hear them make general statements. Oh, well, we got to do a better job with mental illness. What does that mean? Give me a specific policy you think that would work. Do you think permitless open carry is going to help mentally ill people not get their hands on guns? Do you think it's okay for an 18-year-old to walk into, 5 different stores when they turn 18 and buy as many AR-15s as they want? Are you okay with that? Are you okay with 18-year-olds purchasing weapons, or anybody for that matter, having zero training? Why is it that when we have a car, as you know, Jamie, you get your driver's license, you have to re-register your car?
Not even that. You have to have a permit first. You have to learn how to do those things first.
Exactly.
And you just get your license.
Exactly. And even a step further, you have an instructor next to you. They need to make sure that you're able to operate the vehicle. Why is it that when you purchase a gun, you don't have to be taught how to operate the gun?
Right.
There's no mandatory training. You don't have to re-register your guns. We don't have to check on your health or your vision or anything. I'll tell you what, if I'm in a supermarket and there's an active shooting situation, I want to know if there's a good Samaritan with a gun that they were trained on how to use that gun. But Republicans don't want mandatory training. Why? Because the NRA doesn't want it. Why? Because the NRA is in the back pocket of so many of these Republicans like the Mike Lees of the world, and I'm sick of it. Number to call, 702-221-7283. And again, that number, if you want to join the conversation, that number is 702-221-7283. And before I get to the phone calls, my heart, as Jamie said, I didn't even want to read the names of those that are deceased because I'll start breaking down. I did that in Uvalde. We have 3 9-year-old kids that are dead and their families are grieving today. It makes me sick. And we have 3 adults, a custodian, and somebody that ran the school that were executed, and their families have to
and a substitute teacher.
Yeah, it's terrible. Funeral arrangements, and it breaks my heart, man. 702-221-7283. All right, let's start off with JD. First up on the line. Hello, JD.
Hey, Brian. Thanks. Yeah, we should all be puking right now because it's just the thought of 9-year-olds in this situation. I wanted to bring to your attention that in 1934, we banned machine guns unanimously, Republicans and Democrats, because the gangsters had better weapons than the police. So in 1934, both parties got together and banned machine guns. And my next point is this. Every time this happens, Republicans go to thoughts and prayers and then mental illness, but will not spend a dime on healthcare to help people. I just don't get it.
You're absolutely right.
Yep.
And I was getting into debates, JD, with some people on social media, some MAGAs yesterday. And, they want to say, they want to talk about the fact that this shooter's trans. Somehow they're obsessed with that. They want to blame everything but the real issue in this country. And part of it is mental illness, but they have no solutions. They want to make it easier for these people to get guns. They don't want to talk about assault weapons. They don't want to talk about how we are infatuated and obsessed with guns in this country. They don't want to talk about red flag laws. They don't want to talk about assault weapons. They certainly don't want to talk about putting new regulations on the books. And many of these Republicans want to talk about, JD, as you know, is their A+ rating with the NRA. They care more about that. And it's so interesting because so many of these Republicans yesterday, thoughts and prayers. My heart goes out to the family. But then when anybody wants to talk about gun control, usually they'll say, now's not the time. Families are grieving. Now is not the time. Now is exactly the time.
When is the time? When is the time? When I'm 90?
It'll be the time when they're actually affected by it, when their kids are shot up at their schools. That's when it's time.
Well, just blows my mind that we talk about mental illness and Republicans, mental illness, every shooter's mentally ill, and then don't sink a fucking nickel, sorry for my language, into healthcare. So you can't do that.
Yeah. It's
my
I'm
language.
going to tell you, JD, I'm just as angry as you are. I'm getting sick and tired of it. I was sick and tired of it after Sandy Hook and after Uvalde. How many more mass shootings do we need to have for these Republicans to find a conscience?
Didn't we all think that Sandy Hook would change things? These little children.
Way too hopeful, obviously, because there's not changing anything.
Yeah.
Can we discuss the fact that there has literally been 130 mass shootings in the U.S. and the year just started? It is March, January, February, March. That's 3 months and 130 mass shootings. Ridiculous.
And I also hear this from the right. I hear the argument, well, many of those mass shootings were used with pistols. But when you look at the deadliest mass shootings in this country, could be 6 people, could be 10 people, could be what happened in Las Vegas. The guns that are used are not pistols. The guns that are used are AR-15 style assault weapons. But they don't want to talk about that. Yes. One shooting with a pistol is one too many. We don't want any of these mass shootings happening.
Of course not. But knives, we don't. But that weapon was created, the M16 was created for the Vietnam War to kill as many human beings on the other side as possible.
Agreed.
And why someone would need one of those in their house, I am just, I'm dumb. I'm gobsmacked.
JD, here's all we can do, my friend. All we can do is keep speaking truth. Vote out these Republicans that care more about an A+ rating from the NRA than innocent 9-year-olds that are gunned down in schools. That's all we can do.
Yeah.
Right.
And I appreciate appreciate you calling in, JD. Thank you, my man.
All right.
Appreciate it. If you want to be a part of the conversation, hey, if you disagree with me and you don't think the guns are the problem, then I'll take your phone call. 702-221-7283.
Please.
But I want to hear solutions. I don't want to hear you bicker and complain about liberals or Democrats. I don't want to hear you say things that are not factually accurate, like Democrats want to take all our guns away. That is a lie, and that is not true. If you think the Democrats are making this political, okay, tell me what your solutions are. 702-221-7283, 702-221-SAVE. Let's go to Carl.
Yes.
Carl is next on Pushing the Limits. Hi, Carl. What's going on?
Hey, hi, gentlemen. Listen, number one, I don't know if you know this fact, that the United States is the lowest for all countries in the world, basically, for killings of humans by guns. We are on the bottom of the list completely. We kill more people yearly with guns than any other country.
I can believe that. So
that's the truth. And here's really an important part. I mean, I have a gun at home. I have a handgun, a 9mm handgun, Glock. But that's enough for home protection. I mean, you don't need a gun that's going to shoot 100 rounds in less than a minute, unless you have 50 people trying to get in your home. And like I said to you maybe a long time ago, I don't know if I did, but my dad lives in England for business. And when I visited him, I used to go there. And they have almost no murders or have been hit by guns because they're not allowed to have guns. The police can have guns. But the problem is there that they have a few murders by knife. And I hear people on the right, the extreme right, saying, well, they kill each other with knives. And like I always say, if you have small children in school, would you rather have somebody in your school with a knife or a gun that can 100 rounds in it?
Right.
I mean,
no, you're right. You're right. And good to hear from you, Carl. I appreciate it.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Yeah,
Thanks,
no, you're
Carl.
right.
It's absolutely ridiculous.
Thanks, Carl.
Yeah, for sure.
Appreciate
What I don't understand is that people on the right believe that at the end of the day, we need to prepare for the purge. Why are you setting up an atmosphere and a space for us to have assault rifles and weapons for something that doesn't even need to happen? We don't need to have a purge. We don't need to be killing each other. We don't need to be out here defending ourselves from things that we're not even creating if we don't have guns. If we don't have guns, I'd rather defend myself against somebody who has a knife than a gun.
I agree. And it's interesting because some people say, well, liberalism is a mental disorder. Well, let me tell you what I believe a mental disorder is. When you give your 5 and 6 year olds AR-15s to hold in their hand for a Christmas photo, you have a mental disorder.
Ridiculous.
When you sleep with your guns and you have a fetish for your guns, whatever type of weaponry you have. Oh, well, it's my First Amendment right. No, First Amendment right. Okay, I can. Okay, fine. Yeah. But you're, in my opinion, you're a psychopath when you give little children guns to hold on to for your fetish photo.
Yep.
That is a mental disorder. Let's be very clear on that. And you know what? It's not really a mental disorder if you're in the back pocket of the NRA. You're just a selfish SOB. When you would rather get an A+ rating from the NRA, and it's more important to you to remain in power to the red meat of the Republican base rather than saving lives. The Ted Cruzes of the world, the Marco Rubios of the world, the Parkland shooting, nothing was done. Nothing. Nothing was done after Sandy Hook when a bunch of 8 and 9-year-olds were executed. Nothing was done. And sadly, nothing is going to be done after this shooting. We have 6 families that are grieving. 3 9-year-olds.
That's ridiculous.
3 9-year-olds that were just in a classroom. Another day for those young children.
Do you know what elementary school is all about? It's about rainbows and fairy tales. Could you imagine that your playtime is ruined because you hear shootings in your school?
The last moments of these kids' lives, I can't even imagine how frightened they must have been. And it really irks me. And I talked about this Sandy Hook and Parkland and Uvalde. The last moments of these children's lives, we failed them
tremendously
because I can't imagine how helpless they must have felt and how scared they must have been. They weren't with their family. And I can only hope that they didn't have to suffer and that it was quick.
What I want people to understand is that while I 100% agree where you're coming from, Brian, it's not even just the fact that what the students dealt with in the moment. These kids are going to have lifelong effects from this particular mass shootings. Do you know how many of these students are going to have trauma growing up?
Yeah, you're right.
Who might not even seek help because they don't even know how to express what they dealt with at 9 years old?
You're right.
Do you know how hard it is for people at our age, Brian, to deal with their emotions and deal with their mental? Try to tell a 10-year-old and under to deal with the mass shooting and get over it and become a civilized human being as they grow older.
You're right. I mean, the fact that, we still hear interviews from kids that were in Columbine, the Columbine shooting that are obviously adults now, and many of these other school shootings that have happened across the country. And it's something you never forget for the rest of your life. And they're going to be traumatized, sadly, for the rest of their life. It's not only about those who lost their lives. It's those that were in that school. It's the parents that were waiting on pins and needles to try to get reunited with their kids. I can't even imagine what they had to go through. And yet we still have so many Republicans out there, not only lawmakers, but just in general, Republicans that just put their arms in the air and say, you know what? Bad people are going to do bad things. Good guy with a gun. Bad people are going to do bad things. Well, guess what? While I praise the police officers in Tennessee that did their job and did it very well, we still lost 6 people.
Right.
And somehow this demented individual who was under psychiatric help, who was clearly mentally deranged, was still able to go into 5 different gun stores and purchase at least 7 weapons. And this person's parents apparently were unaware and didn't know that this individual had all these guns. But the parents did know at one point that they believed that their child or whatever, son, daughter, whatever, was allowed to have 1 gun. And I say to the parents, and I understand the parents didn't do this, If you know that your son or daughter is under psychiatric evaluation, how could you allow them to have one gun? How could you allow that? What type of parent are you? That part of this story I really don't understand, because it's my understanding that this child, I shouldn't say child, this adult, 28 years old,
28 years old. That's
Yeah.
an adult.
Yeah,
Full grown.
Yeah, living with parents. And we're going to learn more about motive. Sometimes we don't get a motive at all. What happened in the Las Vegas shooting, we didn't get a motive at all.
Right.
And I keep saying over and over again, we need to do something. So this is what Joe Biden had to say. Joe Biden held a press conference yesterday, and he made a statement about ice cream. So because he made that statement about a flavor of ice cream, Republicans are just, trying to come up with anything to go after the president of the United States. All this was happening in real time. And then Joe Biden got word of this shooting, and he made a brief statement on the shooting without obviously knowing all the facts. And here's what Joe Biden had to say yesterday as everything was unfolding.
It's sick. We're still gathering the facts of what happened and why. And we do know that as of now, there are a number of people who did not make it, including children. It's heartbreaking, a family's worst nightmare. And I want to commend the police who responded incredibly swiftly, within minutes, and the danger. We're monitoring the situation really closely, Ben, as you know, and we have to do more to stop gun violence. It's ripping our communities apart, ripping the soul of this nation, ripping at the very soul of the nation. So I call on Congress again to pass my assault weapons ban. It's about time that we begin to make some more progress, but there's more to learn. But I just wanted to send my concern and hearts out to so many parents out there.
So nothing wrong with that statement.
Nothing at all.
I agree with everything that he said. And some people would say, well, Brian, that was 3 hours after the shooting. Yeah, we still didn't have all the information. We still didn't have all the facts. And I don't think there's anything wrong with a president waiting until more facts come in. That's what a responsible person does.
Yeah, someone in power shouldn't be speaking out of turn about a situation they don't know anything about. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, even though I'm sure he was briefed, there was still a lot of information that wasn't out yet about the shooter. There was still a lot of information, video surveillance wasn't out yet, and there was a lot of other stuff that wasn't out yet. The bottom line is this. The reason why we have so much gun violence in this country, and the reason why it continues to rise year by year, getting worse and worse, is not because of Democrats. Democrats have done everything they could do and everything they can do or want to do to try to pass some gun reform and some legislation and put some new laws on the books. They're trying. The reason why they're unable to do so or do very little is because of Republicans. And if you don't believe me, go ahead and look at their voting record. They literally refuse to do anything except make it easier for people to get their hands on guns. There are some Republicans out there that think more guns make society safer.
Right.
We have more guns than people in this country. What do we need? Do we need 1 billion guns? It's absurd, and it's a lie. More guns do not make people safer.
Right.
That is not true. When you look at countries across the world, and they don't even have a fraction of the guns we have. It's the reason why they don't even have a fraction of the gun violence we have in this country.
Right.
More guns do not make people safer. That is not true. You can harden our schools and arm teachers, which I think is absurd.
I can't even imagine.
You're still going to have school shootings, and as long as you let demented individuals go to 5 different gun stores and purchase 7 guns that are under psychiatric evaluation, these types of shootings are still going to happen. But if you get into a debate with a Republican, or in this case, a Republican who thinks Democrats are wrong when it comes to guns in this country, and if you're one of those people that doesn't think that guns are the problem, the people are the problem, then ask them this one question. What are your solutions?
I want to know, honestly, even through the solutions, at what point do you think a random human being needs to have a shotgun in their home? Can you tell me anything about that, Brian? Why would you think you would need a shotgun in your home?
I certainly don't think you need an assault weapon to defend yourself. For the record, like Jon Stewart, I believe every American that's not a felon, that's not mentally ill, has the right to defend themselves and the right to bear arms. But there's responsibility when it comes to your First Amendment rights. We have something called responsibility. By the way, you can't own a tanker. You can't own a bazooka. Many machine guns are banned. So spare me with, you can, have whatever type of artillery you want to defend yourself, because that's not true. That's not true. I understand you shall not infringe, but again, also needing to understand that it needs to be well regulated. That's what it says in the Constitution. Guess what? Guns in this country are not well regulated
at all.
They are not well regulated. This is not what our forefathers had in mind when we have the gun violence. And you mentioned 130 mass shootings just since January. This is not what our forefathers had in mind. So if you're one of those people that thinks you know everything about guns and you're a gun expert and guns aren't the problem and AR-15s aren't the problem, then I want to know what solutions you have in store. I want to know, because what's happening right now is not working. What's happening right now, our innocent people are dying every day. So here's what I want to do. He's Jamie D. I'm Brian Shapiro. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a break, and I want to hear from you. You could be a gun fanatic. You can be on my side. You can be on the side of Republicans or Democrats. I want to hear from you. I want to know what you think about this shooting in Tennessee. I want to know what you think we should or shouldn't be doing. And I want to have a conversation with you, because I'm getting really sick and tired of talking about innocent children and people dying every day in this country. Violence. I'll open up the phone lines again, 702-221-7283. And again, that number, if you want to join the conversation, it's area code 702-221-SAVE, 702-221-7283. We'll take some phone calls when we come back. Agree or disagree, something needs to be done. What's happening in this country, the lack of, I guess the word I'm looking for is a lack of urgency to get something done. What we're doing right now is not working. Take a quick break. We'll be back right after this. By the way, that number to call again is 702-221-7283.
Yes, and everybody, when you're calling in, remember this is a radio show, so please thank you, Kirsty, if you can.
Yes,
that'd
that would
great,
be nice.
because we are still running a real live radio show. Again, this is a very heartbreaking situation. I don't want to make light of it, but remember, we are still on social media at PTO Radio Show, PTL RADIOSHOW on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. Hey, if you go to our YouTube, you can come with us live. I'm here with you all on my laptop, responding in real time. So follow us at PTO Radio Show.
All right, we'll take some phone calls on the other side of the break. Again, that number is 702-221-7283. There's some people, that use the term libtard or liberalism is a mentalist, even though I'm not a liberal. But these are the same people that can't have an intellectual conversation when it comes to all the gun violence in this country and gun control. But I'm still giving you that opportunity. We'll take a quick break. We'll take some phone calls on the other side. You're listening to Push the Limits right here on KSHP.
Yeah.
Hey everybody, are you struggling to find a pizza place that reminds you of Brooklyn? That true blue New York style pie? Well, worry no more. Salone's Italian Eatery Pizza is a knockout. Located at 467 East Silverado Ranch, just off of Green Road, half a mile east of South Point Casino, just minutes from the Las Vegas Strip. Come by and grab a slice of pie. Plus, check out our Brooklyn-inspired Italian cuisine. Our sandwiches are super. Hero, that is. Because why be a sub when you can be a hero? Salone's Italian Eatery is here to serve you phenomenal food, Vegas. Forget about it.
Look, it's impossible for the average person to find a great attorney out there. There's so much misinformation. Now, let me introduce you to former Chief Deputy District Attorney Thomas Moss. He was Las Vegas' top DUI prosecutor for years. Prosecuted the most high-profile DUI cases in Clark County. No one knows more about DUI law in Nevada. Just Google it. If you get charged with DUI, whether it's a misdemeanor or even more importantly, a felony, you need Thomas Moskal representing you. His relationships with the prosecutors and judges and his knowledge of DUI law to work for you. So give him a call now or text him at 702-848-5555. It's your life and liberty that's at stake. Don't wait. Call now. That number again, 702 848-5555. Hey everybody, it's Brian Shapiro from Pushing the Limits. I want to tell you guys about Sahara West Urgent Care and Wellness. They're conveniently located on the southwest corner of Sahara and Jones. They're open Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. and Saturday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. At Sahara West Urgent Care, they'll take care of all your healthcare needs. They offer routine services such as physicals, STD testing, car accident treatment, and work injuries. You name it, they do it. They have on-site x-ray, EKG, ultrasound, and labs. They treat chronic conditions such as asthma, blood pressure, diabetes, and more. They also offer general wellness exams, treatments such as testosterone enhancement, and cancer screening. They're located on Sahara, 6125 West Sahara Avenue. Their number is 702-248-0554. And the best part, they accept most major insurances and affordable cash pay prices, office visits starting at just $95. And I'm also a client. So please give them a call, 702-248-0554. All right, welcome back to Pushing the Limits. Thank you for joining us on a Tuesday afternoon. Of course, we're talking about gun control. We're talking about the shooting that took place in Nashville, Tennessee. Just a horrible tragedy with 3 children and lost their lives. Haven't even lived life yet. And, 3 adults losing their lives as well. And I'm just so sick about it. I'm just so sick. It's sick to my stomach every time I have to report on one of these things. And we had the biggest mass shooting in American history right here in our backyard in Las Vegas, yet Republicans want to do nothing. So we're taking your calls, 702-221-7283. Again, that number is 702-221-7283. Why don't we start off with Lisa on line 2, who's joining us now on Pushing the Limits. Hi, Lisa. Thanks for calling in. What's on your mind?
I think that it'd be a mistake to give up our guns because the government is trafficking children and they're pushing our guns and fentanyl and everything else through this country.
Okay, so explain to me why you think that we need AR-15s.
I don't think that everybody should have anything like that. I just think that if we give up our guns, then the bad people aren't going to give their guns up, and they're still going to.
I understand, but let's go with that. What Democrat is wanting to take away all of your guns?
I think that there's no difference in the Democratic and the Republican Party. They're all placed there by the elite that own everything. I think that there's no winning with either party, and that the people need to stand up against the government.
Okay, understood. I'm just trying to understand your position. You believe that Democrats are trying to take all your guns away? Because I can't think of one Democrat that's trying to do that.
I believe the government's trying to turn us into China with all the surveillance system, trying to gene edit us with.
Okay, but let's try to. I understand you're not a big fan of our government. I get that, and I would respectfully disagree with you. I don't believe the government's trying to turn us into China, but let's try to stick to the gun control issue. What I am trying to talk about, and I think what many Democrats are trying to talk about, Lisa, is the fact that assault weapons ban, red flag laws. I'm trying to understand why you would be against that. Are you against that?
Assault weapon ban. No, I think that'd probably be a good idea.
Okay, so we agree. All right, so we start with common ground. You agree with me that, an assault weapons ban would be a good thing. What about turning the age from 18 to 21 to purchase a gun? Would you be okay with that?
Yep.
Okay, so we agree there. Do you agree that if you purchase a gun, you probably should have some sort of training, that there should be some sort of a minimum amount of training, that if you're going to purchase a gun, you have to learn how to use it? Okay, so we agree. So Lisa, we agree fundamentally. We agree. Maybe we don't agree with your thoughts on the government, but I don't think we're going to need some sort of militia to defend against the government. I don't think that's going to happen in our lifetime. Why do you feel that way?
Because they're doing nefarious stuff to us without our knowledge.
All right, so Lisa, you're saying that the government is doing things to us without our knowledge, but do you believe that there should be a mental evaluation as it pertains to getting a license for a gun?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Now, do you believe there should be a mental evaluation for people who go into our political spaces and who get spots in political power?
Yes, I do.
All right. Well, all right.
I think that if a lot of times if Republicans and Democrats could sit down together and open their mind, they'd be finding that they are on the same team.
Okay.
They just are being separated, because of the two-party system, which is actually only a one-party system. We're just made to believe that it's a two-party system.
Well, listen, Lisa, I appreciate your call. I think that we might not agree on everything, but I think the most important thing is it sounds like we agree on some gun laws that should be put on the books that I think would save lives. And I think that's important, Lisa, and I appreciate your call. Okay, thank you.
Yep, thank you.
Appreciate you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye. 702-221-7283. And again, that number, if you want to be a part of the conversation, 702-221-7283. Now we're going to Edward. Edward is next. Hi, Edward. What's on your mind?
Hey, what's going on, guys? I'm calling out of San Antonio, Texas.
Oh, yes, sir.
How you doing?
Hey, I don't think it's really a gun thing. I think it's more of a mental health thing.
Okay.
So, can I ask you a question? Can I ask you a question?
It is.
If it's more of a mental health thing, then why is it that there are mentally ill people all over the world, but it seems like we only have this problem in this country? If it's only a mental health thing, then why is that?
It's a great question. But I also don't believe everyone that owns guns is going to go out and shoot people either. You know what I mean? Because
I don't think anybody believes that. I don't think anybody believes that. But I'm trying to go with your theory here. If you believe that it is a mentally ill thing, then I want to hear why is it that it's only in this country? There are mentally ill people all over the world. Now I have my answer because we're infatuated with guns because we have more guns than people. So isn't it more of a gun thing?
The access to guns is so easy. You know what I mean?
Right.
You can get guns if you want them bad enough. If the black market is out there, let's not deny it.
I agree. Edward, I agree. So let's go with that.
Okay, sorry.
So why is it? No, that's okay. So why is it then that the first go-to thing for you is it's not a gun thing, it's a mental health thing, when you just answered your own question and you said, well, it is a gun thing. Can it be both? Can't we say it's both?
It can. I just think it's terrible because the situation that happened in Las Vegas, you got to think of it. I live in San Antonio. If you look at it on a map, we're about 90 miles from Uvalde. If you remember the Uvalde
shooting. Of course I do. Yeah.
That one shook to the core. You know what I mean? Because it feels like it's in your backyard.
Can I ask you about that? Can I ask you about that? Then, why is it then that your Governor Abbott, has made it easier for people and mentally ill people to get their hands on guns then? Why has Governor Abbott done the opposite then after Uvalde?
Because as much as I love my state, Brian, we're going backwards, not forward.
Right. So Edward, why can't for example, let's just say you're a Republican and I'm a Democrat. For argument's sake, we both agree that we have a gun problem in this country. We also both agree that we have a lot of mentally ill people in this country, and we're not doing enough to help them either. Why can't Republicans and Democrats sit down at the table and do something about it?
Because they don't want to. Because nobody wants to break bread with each other. Everybody wants to be right and nobody wants to be wrong.
I agree with you a little bit, but here's where we disagree. Democrats have been pushing to want to do something for decades now. And it seems to me that Republicans want to do nothing, or at a minimum, they want to make it easier for people to get their hands on guns. And that's why when it comes to this issue, I blame Republicans, because it doesn't seem like they're willing to negotiate with Democrats and do anything.
Well, maybe if we ever thought about how about this? Just an idea, just a toss question.
Yeah.
Maybe every 50 years we should go over the Constitution again, over again. You know what I mean? Like, hey, things change, times change. You know what I mean? Maybe keep up to date with the Constitution. We chose to change it every so often. You know what I mean?
No, I hear you, Edward. I think it's a reasonable conversation to have, and I appreciate. I appreciate hearing from you, my man, and my thoughts and prayers always to those people in Uvalde, Texas. And at least you guys got the Final Four coming up this weekend. That'll be fun.
Who are y'all picking, by the way? I know it ain't gonna be UCLA. So who y'all picking?
I'm picking FAU. I'm picking FIU. FAU.
Huskies, my man. Say hello to Greg Popovich for me out there, and appreciate the call out there in Texas, my man, Edward. Thank you.
Thank you, Edward.
Appreciate you. Thank you. 702-221-7283 is the number to call. Let's go to Al. Al is next on Pushing the Limits. Hi, Al. What's going on?
Taking my call. I think I got a partial solution or something that people are overlooking.
Yeah.
And the fact is that I was reading up some statistics on homelessness because I'm trying to figure out. See, I came from Irvine, California. We don't have homelessness. We have high employment. We got great universities. It's like you just go in there and you live. There's no we have very little problems down there.
Yeah.
I moved over here to Sunrise Manor, and I looked at this and I go, you know what? I'm going to figure out. I'm comparing and contrasting what we're doing, what we're not doing.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things that I'm noticing here, first of all, Las Vegas, we have a higher homeless problem than Oakland and San Francisco.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is, what people are overlooking is that there's a statistic that 6% of the population is going to be mentally unrepairable.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And so the thing is that I got another phone call coming in right when I called you.
Uh-oh.
So anyway, so the thing is that what it is that people are overlooking that. You know, all these casinos, all these people that they start a business here. If you want to start like Brian Shapiroville, and the guy's going to bring in 100,000, a job for the 100,000 potential people and families, you're going to say, hey, I got 60,000 people that are going to be mentally ill. Are you going to pay taxes so I can start a mental shelter? Yeah. That's one of the first stops.
I'll tell you.
The guy who called from San Antonio,
yeah.
I'm glad he called.
Yep.
San Antonio had one of the highest homeless rates in the country, and they got it down, and they got a ton of homeless shelter. We should be looking to San Antonio to see what they're doing.
I got a Brian
and
Shapiro bill.
With you.
I got a Brian.
I agree that it's mental and evilness is one of the biggest causes.
I got a Brian Shapiro bill. I don't know if you'll endorse this. I want all the right-wing buffoons to be shipped on a plane, just like Ron DeSantis shipped those migrants on a plane to Martha's Vineyard. I want all the right-wing buffoons to be shipped on a plane to Russia and live right down the road from Vladimir Putin and keep them there, and they can never come back.
There you go. That will help.
That's the Brian Shapiro bill. Will you endorse that for me, please?
There you go. Well, I don't know. That's a possibility.
I want to put Sigal Shatta and Jim Marchant.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll take a look at it.
Adam Laxalt and Michelle Fiore. Brian Shapiro bill. Put them all on a plane with their hands behind their back and go send them to Vladimir Putin's people, and let's see how they enjoy it down there, and they can stay there as far as I'm concerned.
Everybody remember 6% of the people out there are nutcases. And here we got 2.1 million people in Clark County.
Yeah.
That's about 120,000.
You know who some of the nutcases are? The people.
You know
who some of the nutcases are? The right-wing buffoons who take pictures during Christmas and give their 6-year-olds AR-15s. Yeah. Those are some of the nutcases. Al, I know you agree with me on that.
Ones too. So I can assure you that I don't think mental illness is it's a party thing, I think it's a bipartisan problem.
Well, so Al, I know you have a solution about getting the homeless, places to stay so that they're not, encroaching on different spaces in public. But what does that have to do specifically with gun violence in our country? Can you explain to me how that will stop the mass shootings?
I mean, my God, honestly, now I'm really concerned about your cognitive issues. If you don't understand that somebody with a mental problem can get a gun and I just got out some wacko. Well, on the road right now, I had to take his picture. He was going off, and I took a picture, and the guy ran off.
Mm-hmm. So Al, here's my.
I mean, if you have a mental problem, the guy gets a gun, he's going to whack you. What's so hard to understand about that?
Right, and I get that, Al. But what I'm trying to get you to understand is that when we're looking at all these different issues and evaluating all these different mass shootings, it's the person who's doing it is not a homeless person that we see on the street who just has her pants down.
I'm not talking about home. I'm talking about people with mental problems.
Right.
The lady had a mental problem.
Okay.
Her parents had a problem with her, and they didn't know where to take her. They didn't know what to do. If they would have had a shelter where they could have taken her.
Okay, but hold on. Let's backtrack. This shooter, but Al, this shooter was getting mental treatment. The shooter was getting help. Here's where lies.
Yeah, well, then whatever mental treatment she was getting is not enough.
Well,
we have to address
but
that.
I agree with you. But how is this person able to go into 5 different gun stores and purchase 7 guns? Why is it that Republicans?
I addressed that. I said that.
I know Al.
Should be limited.
I know you addressed that, and I appreciate that. But many of your Republican friends do not address it, particularly those that are in office.
Some of them don't. We can't get everybody on board, but hopefully, maybe they'll listen to what I have to say.
After Sandy Hook,
people out there, when you go out on the street, they're wackos.
I understand, Al. It's always good to hear from you, my friend. I do appreciate your call. Thank you. The problem I have is that your Republicans didn't listen after Columbine. They didn't listen after Sandy Hook. They didn't listen after Uvalde. They didn't listen after Mandalay Bay. They did not listen. So I disagree with you. They're not listening. 702-221-7283. And again, that number, if you want to be a part of the conversation, 702-221-7283 is the number to call. Do we have JW on the line? Let's go to JW. Hi, JW.
Hey, what's up, guys? How you doing?
Good. Thanks for calling in. What's on your mind, JW?
Well, obviously, what happened yesterday was pretty tragic, whether you're on the left or the right.
Mm-hmm.
But I was thinking about a question, and maybe you can have some insight. How do you tie law-abiding gun owners to this situation? How do we contribute to this?
Sure. I think that's a very fair question. First of all, if you're a law-abiding gun owner, you're not the person that's most likely pulling the trigger and committing a crime. So let's just state the obvious right there, number one. But number two, here's my issues with some law-abiding gun owners. Some of them are not responsible with their guns. Right. Example, you don't have to pull the trigger to be partially responsible. Sandy Hook shooting. You had a mother who gave her mentally ill son access to guns. I want responsible gun owners to be responsible and not allow children to even get their hands on a gun, let alone in a picture, or give somebody mentally ill an opportunity to have access to guns. And I think that's another issue when it comes to, I guess, law-abiding citizens, to your question.
So how does taking guns away from law-abiding citizens going to solve the issues we're having?
Remember, JW, Democrats don't want to take your guns away. We want more gun control laws in place to make sure that these don't happen again.
Could he have done the same amount of damage with a 10-round magazine and a 9mm handgun?
Okay, so let me respond to that. The biggest mass shootings in this country, what is the weapon of choice?
No. Let's stick to the first question. Could he have done the same amount of damage with a 10-round magazine and a 9mm? I'll answer your question after you answer mine.
Could it have been possible that he could have used other guns and he could have caused similar damage? Sure, anything's possible,
especially against people who are armed as well.
Could he have caused damage with a 6-shot revolver?
Okay, but here's the caveat. He didn't. In Las Vegas, AR-15s were used. In Columbine, AR-15s were used. In Uvalde, AR-15s were used. In Sandy Hook, AR-15s were used.
Let's just say we ban them. We ban all rifles.
They were banned in the 90s, and gun violence was down.
So gun violence was down. So what are we going to do when the guy can't get an AR and now he gets a 9mm with a 13 round?
Well, I'll respond to answer your question. We had a ban on assault weapons in the early 90s, and I want you to do me a favor, my man. I want you to look up the stats, because Republicans allowed that bill to fizzle out, and then gun violence.
Actually, I would like for you to look up the Stanford study and realize that it did not bring down gun violence. And
okay,
if you want,
I don't know what anecdotal study you're referring to, but I looked at multiple studies.
University of Stanford, the medical school. I don't know if you've heard of it.
Okay, well, I'm not sure if I want medical people to talk to me about guns, but all
you
I would
talk to us about COVID, and you're not a medical expert.
What
so
if
on, man.
Let me start over, because he just addressed now.
Real quick before you get into that, JW. I want to do a quick fact check. The great thing about being a millennial is being able to quickly research things. I'm looking the studies up from Stanford that you're talking about, and they're specifically saying in several different articles, and again, from Stanford University, a resource that you just brought up, saying that people with handguns and even assault rifles are more likely to kill and be killed by themselves if they have those things in possessions. There's nothing that I'm seeing currently in a quick Google search that
I'm talking about Stanford did a study.
Right. No, I'm getting there. And they're also still saying that there was reduced in gun violence. One thing that I want people to understand is that I understand where you're coming from as it pertains to assault rifles versus handguns. Regardless, if you have a gun, you can cause a lot of damage. I will give you that. Let's call a spade a spade. But what we're not talking about, hold on real quick, JW, one quick one. What I want to get at is the fact that you have all these mass shootings where the attacker is attacking victims who are not armed as well. So when you're looking at all these different situations, we're not looking at a person who's going into somebody's house and shooting up people in their house, and they're also equipped with guns. We're talking about mass shootings at schools. You're not going to see students under 18 with guns, and you shouldn't have to see teachers with guns. We should not be living in a society where you should be afraid every day going into work.
My friend, I went to high school in LA. There's kids under 18 with guns. I'm sorry.
Okay, so JW, let's go back to the beginning. What are your solutions? I've given you multiple things that I believe would lower gun violence in this country and law enforcement. Many of those that are law enforcement agree with me.
One of my solutions is I do agree. You got to be 21 to buy a gun. I do agree with that.
Okay.
2, you get caught with an illegal gun, you go to prison 5 to 10 years. No question.
I agree. I agree.
Gun crimes.
Why is it that Republicans don't want to do that, sir?
My man, I'm in construction. I'm not a politician. All I can speak for is myself. But here's my question to you, Brian. You respond and say a lot about Republicans.
Yeah, I do.
Do we know who this person was and who her base is?
I talk about Republican lawmakers, and the reason why I talk about Republican lawmakers is because they refuse to do anything on the books. I don't care whether somebody
but you also put Kyle Rittenhouse through the ringer. I have not heard you say one thing about this whack job who killed 3 kids yesterday.
What do you mean I haven't said one thing about this whack job? What does their political affiliation have to do with anything? I said Kyle Rittenhouse. I don't care whether he's a Republican or a Democrat. He shouldn't have been there. He's a white supremacist.
Did you not call him racist?
Did I not call him racist? Well, sir, here's what I would like you to do. Look up a picture of Kyle Rittenhouse hanging out with the Proud Boys at a bar during the trial, holding up the white supremacist sign. I tend to talk about people that hold up a white supremacist sign as racist.
Relax.
No, I'm not going to relax. He's a racist. If you hold up a white supremacist sign and
so what do you call the whack job who killed 3 kids yesterday?
A criminal and a whack job and a murderer. Do you have a problem with that, or do you want me to attack this person for being a transgender? Because that's kind of what I'm getting at with you. That's kind of where this conversation is going. Is that important to you, sir? Their sexuality or what's between their legs? Is that what's important to you? Because that's what I'm getting from you, sir.
I thought you stand up for those rights and those.
What did you just say? I stand up for who?
I thought you stand up for all that. So are you with it or are you against it?
I stand up for anybody, not murderers. I stand up for.
You know she's part of the Democratic base.
How do you know that? You know the way this person. How do you know that, sir? Do you know the way this person voted? Do you have this person's voting record? No. Do you know? No, you stop. Do you know this person and their voting record? Please give it to me because maybe you can share some breaking news for us. So you don't know the way this person voted.
When you get faced with facts.
Oh, okay, so tell me the fact then. Where did you get the fact that this person is a Democrat?
Are you trying to tell me she's a Republican?
I'm going to ask you one more time or I'm going to end this conversation. I'm going to ask this. See, unlike you, get rid of this. Get rid of this bozo. You have no idea what this person's voting record is, and you're a clown. You're a right-wing idiot is what you are. You are an idiot. Because I got you. Because what you wanted me to talk about was to talk down to the trans community just because this shooter happens to be trans. You are an idiot. And you are probably homophobic and you're racist, and you are Donald Trump's base. You are a moron. And you didn't give me any facts. Let me tell you something. I don't care what's between your legs. I don't care if you're gay or straight. If you're a murderer, you're a murderer. But idiots like you want to point out that she's trans because you want to put it as an attack on the trans community because you're a homophobic boob. That's what you are. I'm not going down that rabbit hole with you. I try to have a normal conversation with some people, and they just can't do it. They can't have a conversation.
They just want to bait the entire time.
Yeah. What does her or him or whatever this person is or between their legs being trans have to do with killing children? You dope. You dope. And this is what they're doing on the right. I'm so glad he called because there are so many Republicans just like this idiot who just called in. There are so many Republicans that they don't want to talk about the real issues, which are guns, Jamie, in this country.
Right.
And if you want to talk about mental health and mental illness, very fair conversation to have. The fact that this person is trans or gay or whatever, and by the way, the fact that this idiot makes an assumption because somebody is trans, they must be a Democrat. And by the way, I'm sure this guy was calling into radio shows after the shooting in El Paso and talking about how that was a white supremacist. And notice how this person defends Kyle Rittenhouse.
I think at the end of the day, what he was trying to do is just bait you to pretty much attack a different demographic. This isn't about a different demographic in itself. This is about a racial issue. This is about a gun issue. This isn't about somebody's sexuality. When we're talking about Kyle Rittenhouse and also not talking about the shooting from yesterday, this isn't a transgender or pronoun issue. This is a gun issue, a mental issue. And what the people on the right are trying to do is trying to cover it up by using trans people as a way to remove themselves from talking about why we should be banning guns, period.
I just get so frustrated with people like that last caller who somehow want me to not support the LGBTQ community.
Right.
Because one person that happens to be, I guess, trans committed a horrible, violent act that somehow he thinks that I'm going to defend this person.
My thing is, at the end
it's
of the
so
day,
stupid. Can you be that dumb?
What I want them to realize is this. At what point is it okay for us to talk about the trans community as a whole being crazy, but we can't talk about the Caucasian community being crazy as a whole?
Yeah, or what about white supremacists?
Exactly.
Yeah.
My thing is, when we're talking about Kyle Rittenhouse, we're not saying all Caucasians are bad. We're saying white supremacists are bad. We're saying people with mental issues who have guns in control can be bad and are bad. My thing is, we're not taking a whole demographic and saying black, white, gay, straight. We're talking about the facts. Now, I do want to get in something really quick. You do have a lot of people, and again, everybody, we're on PTL Radio Show and all social media accounts. I'm reporting with you all live and commenting with you all live as well. We have people asking a question about why do you think it's okay to have thoughts about wanting to deport a group of people in a certain space? What people are saying online is that you believe all Republicans are bad. Can you speak on that?
Yeah, I would never make a general comment. It's like saying all Trump supporters are racist. Obviously, I would never make a statement like that because it's not true. I would never, assume that because somebody's trans, they're a Democrat. That's also an idiotic, ignorant statement to make, and a homophobic, and whatever else you want to call it. There are reasonable Republicans out there that believe that, we need to do something about all the gun violence in this country. And we can't just put our hands in the air and say, oh, well, bad people are going to get their hands on guns. This isn't all Republicans, but the majority of Republican lawmakers across this country absolutely refuse to do anything when it comes to gun violence. In fact, they make it easier for people to have guns. A lot of the lawmakers like Marco Rubio, Ted Cruz, Jim Jordan, Matt Gaetz, these types of Marjorie Taylor Greene, Lauren Boebert, these types of Republicans, they talk about their religion and they talk about Christianity and they talk about the First Amendment. What about the rights of these 9-year-old kids that are being gunned down in schools? Their answers are, let's arm our kindergarten teachers and more guns are the answer. They're idiots. Just like JW, who just called in. He's an idiot. And it's unfortunate because even if we disagree politically on a lot of different issues, we need to do something here. And Joe Biden yesterday was basically begging people, we need to pass this assault weapons ban. And then this guy gives me this anecdotal study. I have no idea what he's talking about from Stanford. And it's not true, by the way, because when we had the assault weapons ban, it's proven, it's fact. The gun violence went down in this country. He has absolutely no idea what he's talking about. Then again, this is a guy who wants to talk about how this shooter was trans, and he cares more between his or her legs than actually talking about the real problems. And it's unfortunate. 702-221-7283. Let's go to Fernando. Fernando next on Pushing the Limits. What's up, Fernando?
Yeah, hey guys, you guys are exactly 1,000,000% what's going on today in America. This is America's problem. It's our problem as Americans, and some people just can't wake up to that, and it's frustrating. And I want you guys to refresh my memory. These other countries who banned these AR-15, 16, 17s, or whatever, was it by the prime minister signed the order saying to ban the rifles, or was it by a vote by the people?
Well, that's a good question, and every country is different, but here's what I will tell you. We have a guy, David, from Australia who comes in every Friday, and we talked about this very issue, Fernando, on Friday. I'll use Australia as an example. In, I believe it was 1996, they had a terrible mass shooting where 30 people died. Republicans and Democrats acted immediately. They got rid of assault weapons. They basically got rid of guns for the most part, and all the gun violence went down in that country. Now, they didn't get rid of all the guns overnight. It took some time. Take a look at the gun violence in that country based on, 20, 30 years ago to today. Republicans and Democrats were able to come together and they all agreed we got to do something. They can't do it today. Democrats want to do it today. Listen, I have many criticisms for Democrats But this is not one of them. When it comes to gun control, they've been very consistent on what they want to do. And so many Republicans out there will not allow them to do it because they care more about, they talk about wanting to be in power and getting an A+ rating from the NRA. Go to any rally where a Republican is running for office, and chances are they're going to brag about their A+ rating from the NRA. Notice they don't want to talk about gun violence. No, they don't want to talk about that. Democrats that are running for office, they talk about gun violence. They talk about how they want to implement assault weapons bans and policies putting forward that I believe will save lives. Republicans will never talk about that. They will only talk about what the base wants to hear. Oh, we're not going to take your guns away. More guns are the answer. Let's arm our teachers. I have an A+ rating from the NRA because they're all despicable. And all they care about is staying in power rather than doing what's right for the American people.
You guys are exactly right. Because the money is so big now that they can't say no to it.
Amen.
You know, and
It's
just frustrating.
It is.
Hey,
have a good day, guys. Thanks.
Thank you for calling in.
Thanks for calling in.
Hey, Brian, I want to know what your thoughts are. What is the purpose of having an NRA rating? What's the purpose of that? To explain, because some people are commenting right now. They don't. To me,
understand. There's only one purpose. The purpose is so Republicans can remain in office. The NRA is giving these grades to these Republicans, and basically what they're telling all their members is, hey, this guy is pro NRA, this guy is pro gun, vote for him. And they send money to these politicians and their campaigns, and in return, these Republicans will never, approve on any sort of bill or any type of proper gun legislation that could ban any types of guns. And the reason why they do that, again, is so they can remain in power and remain in office, like Andy Ogles, the idiot that we talked about earlier today out of Tennessee. This is his district, right, where this school shooting happened. And if you look up Andy Ogles and his positions on gun violence, this is the guy who takes Christmas photos and gives his children under the age of 10 assault weapons. So, I mean, they brag about their A+ rating from the NRA. I give them an F- rating as far as being a human being. I don't care what rating they have from the NRA. They're an F- because they care more about remaining in power and getting contributions from the NRA than they do about our kids in schools getting gunned down. And when you hear Ted Cruz, he'll talk about, well, we need to harden our schools and let's give kindergarten teachers guns. Meanwhile, these are the same idiots that talk about critical race theory, and these teachers are indoctrinating our kids. Yet let's give them AR-15s. That's what these Republicans do. And when I say these Republicans, I'm not talking about every Republican, but the majority of Republicans today have literally no solutions for the gun violence in this country. They have zero. They have no solutions. And that's why I get so angry, man. How can you see these young kids get gunned down in schools and put up your hands and say, hey, you know what? Bad guys are going to get their hands on guns. How do you have you don't have a conscience, right? That's why I get so frustrated. And as you can see, it gets me going because, one of my friends, October 1, was shot. I was supposed to go to the concert with her. And instead, I went to a preseason Vegas Golden Knights game on October 1. She was shot in the back.
Sorry to hear that.
Her life has never been the same. And, when you talk to these families that lost loved ones, they don't want to talk politics. I have Fred Gutenberg on this show all the time. Fred is a great guy. He lost his daughter in the Parkland shooting. Great gun advocate. But, it's emotional and it gets me upset when I have to report on these shootings every single day. It seems like every week there's a big mass shooting in this country, and it shouldn't matter whether it's a pistol or an AR-15 or what gun that is being used in these shootings. What should matter is that it's awful, it's wrong, and it just got to stop. It just got to stop. And vote out these Republicans. Vote out these SOBs that care more about their A+ rating from the NRA than doing the right thing and protecting our kids and protecting our families. Vote them out. Get them the hell out. And it's sad and it's unfortunate. And I'm sick of having to bring up the same issues over and over again. And now there are 6 families that are grieving. Unfortunately, I know what that's like. And I would imagine many of you hopefully don't know what it's like to have to bury one of your kids. My sister just passed away a couple months ago, 37 years old. The pain that we are going through as a family is, I don't wish it on anybody. And sadly, in a way, I know what these families are going through today. It's the worst day of your life. Every day is the worst day of your life, that these 9-year-old kids have to be buried. and their families and their parents have to bury them. And meanwhile, all we hear from so many of these Republicans is thoughts and prayers. Thoughts and prayers. My heart goes out, thoughts and prayers. Well, guess what? That's not enough. You can take your thoughts and prayers and you can shove them up your ass because they're empty words and they mean nothing. All right, we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, Jamie is going to give us some of the more interesting stories of the day. And of course, always taking your phone calls at 702-221-7283. And again, that number is 702-221-7283. Coming up here in about 20 minutes, we're going to have some very interesting guests joining us in the studio. Yes, I know.
Super exciting. And guys, remember, we're on PTO Radio Show everywhere on TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. People are going in crazy right now on our YouTube live comments. Come join the conversation. Chat with me live while we're on the show. And remember, you're listening to KSHP.
That's right. So we're going to take a quick break, and coming up here in about 20 minutes or so, we're going to have some. I didn't know there was ever such thing as this word, dominatrix comedians. Yes, that's right. Some local dominatrix comedians. I'm looking at their outfits in the lobby. They are quite interesting. So I'm sure that's going to be a fun segment. Take a quick break. Be back right after this. You're listening to Push the Limits right here on KSHP. Hey everybody, it's Brian Shapiro from Pushing the Limits. I want to tell you guys about Sahara West Urgent Care and Wellness. They're conveniently located on the southwest corner of Sahara and Jones. They're open Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. and Saturday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. At Sahara West Urgent Care, they'll take care of all your healthcare needs. They offer routine services such as physicals, STD testing, car accident treatment, and work injuries. You name it, they do it. They have on-site X-ray, EKG, ultrasound, and labs. They treat chronic conditions such as asthma, blood pressure, diabetes, and more. They also offer general wellness exams, treatments such as testosterone enhancement and cancer screening. They're located on Sahara, 6125 West Sahara Avenue. Their number is 702-248-0554. And the best part, they accept most major insurances and affordable cash pay prices. Office visits starting at just $95. And I'm also a client. Please give them a call, 702-248-0554. Look, it's impossible for the average person to find a great attorney out there. There's so much misinformation. Now, let me introduce you to former Chief Deputy District Attorney Thomas Moskal. He was Las Vegas's top DUI prosecutor for years. He prosecuted the most high-profile DUI cases in Clark County. No one knows more about DUI law in Nevada. Just Google it. If you get charged with DUI, whether it's a misdemeanor or even more importantly, a felony, you need Thomas Moskal representing you. His relationships with the prosecutors and judges and his knowledge of DUI law to work for you. So give him a call now or text him at 702-848-5555. It's your life and liberty that's at stake. Don't wait. Call now. That number again, 702-848-5555. Hey everybody, it's Brian Shapiro from Pushing the Limits. I want to tell you guys about Sahara West Urgent Care and Wellness. They're conveniently located on the southwest corner of Sahara and Jones. They're open Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. and Saturday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. At Sahara West Urgent Care, they'll take care of all your healthcare needs. They offer routine services such as physicals, STD testing, car accident treatment, and work injuries. You name it, they do it. They have on-site X-ray, EKG, ultrasound, and labs. They treat chronic conditions such as asthma, blood pressure, diabetes, and more. They also offer general wellness exams, treatments such as testosterone enhancement and cancer screening. They're located on Sahara, 6125 West Sahara Avenue. Their number is 702-248-0554. And the best part, they accept most major insurances and affordable cash pay prices. Office visits starting at just $95. And I'm also a client. So please give them a call, 702-248-0554.
Hey, everybody. Are you struggling to find a pizza place that reminds you of Brooklyn? That true blue New York style pie? Well, worry no more. Stallone's Italian Eatery Pizza is a knockout. We're located at 467 East Silverado Ranch Boulevard, just off of Premium Road, half a mile east of South Point Casino, just minutes from the Las Vegas Strip. Come by and grab a slice of pie. Plus, check out our Brooklyn-inspired Italian cuisine. Our sandwiches are super. Hero, that is. Because why be a sub when you can be a hero? Stallone's Italian Eatery is here to serve you phenomenal food, Vegas. Forget about it.
Welcome to Hash House A Go-Go, where we've been serving farm food and crafted cocktails for over 2 decades. Visit us for the full Hash House experience at any of our 5 Las Vegas locations. Hash House A Go-Go is where old school meets new and gets twisted. We bring people together over good food and fun. Come in for breakfast, lunch, or dinner, and come hungry because our portions are huge. Visit us online to see our entire menu at hashhouseagogo.com. Hash House A Go-Go. It's a Midwest thing, and there's nothing else like it.
All right, welcome back to this Limit and Tuesday. I want to tell you guys about my good friends, Sahara West Urgent and Primary Care. They're located at 6125 West Sahara Avenue, Suite 1B. No appointment needed, but if you want to give them a call, go ahead and do so. 702-248-0554. You can also visit them online at SaharaWestUrgentCare.com. They took care of me. I was in and out of there in 20 minutes. Best urgent care facility, in my opinion, in all of Las Vegas. Sahara West Urgent and Primary Care. Andrew and Jessica will take care of you. They took care of me. Tell them that I sent you. Sahara West Urgent and Primary Care. All right, Jamie's got some of the interesting news stories of the day. Obviously, we had to cover the tragic one, of course, which is the shooting in Tennessee, and we're going to continue to monitor that. But Jamie, go for it.
So welcome back, guys. Again, this is Pushing Limits here on KSHP. We're live everywhere on PTL Radio Show. Again, live everywhere on PTL Radio Show on all platforms, TikTok, Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram. Hey, we have some entertainment news for today. If you haven't heard, Jonathan Majors was actually charged.
Tell people who Jonathan Majors is.
Yes, Jonathan Majors. He's actually an actor known for his role in Creed 3 alongside Michael B. Jordan.
Which I didn't watch, by the way. Well, Creed 3 is not a movie that I'm urgent.
Well, hey, it was definitely.
Are we going to do a Rocky 12? I don't know. I don't know, man.
Hey, listen, they gained a lot of numbers, but Jonathan Majors, again known for his role in Creed 3, was officially charged with assault and harassment despite lawyers' claims that he's innocent. And actually called number 1 first due to his concerns for his girlfriend's mental health. Now, for me personally, it's really sad seeing a fellow black man in bad news, especially somebody that everyone is looking up to because of his role in Creed 3. He's been going around having a lot of great publicity and a lot of good news about him in general. People have been looking up him as a hero.
What was he charged
So
with?
he was actually charged with strangulation, assault, and harassment.
Strangulation?
Yeah. So this was actually Saturday morning he was arrested Saturday morning in Manhattan on suspicion of strangulation, assault, and harassment. Again, this is all alleged until it actually gets proven.
Well, we heard Chris Beard, the former coach of Texas, who was accused of strangulation, and then the charges were dropped. So
right.
You never know how it's going to play out.
Actually, there's other news that the girlfriend was recanting her statement. So we're trying to figure out what's going to happen with this. Again, it just sucks to see somebody that is in the limelight doing good have these issues. But what I also want to say is that I wouldn't put anything past anybody. I understand that he's a black man in the media who's doing great and he's a role model to others, but that doesn't mean that he's immune to not doing stupid stuff.
Jussie Smollett was also a role model. That nitwit.
Exactly.
That guy's a psychopath.
And they have a documentary come out about him.
Yeah, well, that guy's just a piece of garbage. I'm sorry. You can be a champion for the gay community and for people who are black, but when you decide to fake a hate crime, you lost all credibility for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. That's just my personal opinion.
And I get it. I understand. And my thing is, at the end of the day, with this issue with Jonathan Majors, it just sucks because it's like, dude, you're playing the movie Creed 3 and you're supposed to be this huge.
I can tell you Creed 3 probably sucked just as much.
But listen, I'll let you have that. But at the end of the day, you're a boxer, and boxers are known to quote unquote have rage in them. So it just kind of sucks that you're playing this character and then you're actually beating on your girlfriend.
Yeah, allegedly
in real life. Allegedly.
We'll wait and see how this thing plays out. But obviously, domestic violence is extremely serious. We all need to take it very seriously, and we'll see what happens.
Okay. Yeah, and then also, too, we have other news as we're actually talking about the iHeartRadio Music Awards carpet. Yes. We have several different celebrities who actually came onto the carpet, and I want to know, I'm going to actually show you some pictures, and I want to know, personally, do you care about what celebrities wear on the red carpet? Because this is great entertainment headline news right now.
No, unless they walk down the red carpet naked. No, I'd really... Well, here's why it bothers me and it annoys me. It's like, because a lot of these people, they're wearing these suits and sometimes like J-Lo will walk down there with like $150,000 in jewelry on. And it's like, dude, all the people out there that are struggling, that are paycheck to paycheck. And it's like, dude, you got all the money. And now you're flaunting it in front of everybody. And it's, listen, I think it's great. You want to look beautiful and walk the red carpet. You have the right to do that. I don't have a problem with that at all. But, you know, they brag about, oh, I got this Versace dress. It's worth $250,000. It's like, shut up. Like, shut up. Unless, like, you're going to take that dress off at some point, I would imagine, and donate it to charity or you know, sell it for an auction. And that's great. I think that would be great. But a lot of these celebrities, they get paid to wear these dresses.
Right.
And you know what? Fine. Take the dress and donate it. And you know what? Some of the celebrities do that. But no, to be honest with you, I really don't care what they're wearing. I don't care. Like, I love Joan Rivers. Back in the day, they would, you know, and they still do this. They analyze what they're wearing. And it's like, I could give two craps.
Right.
I don't care.
I agree. Personally,
I don't watch those award shows either because they're boring as hell.
Listen, I will say this personally, it's fun to see what statements these celebrities are going to make. I sent you a text message to your phone where you can see a picture of Mooney Long. Mooney Long is an artist that's really breaking the charts, especially with their song Hours and Hours. She's an R&B artist. African-American.
I'm old. I don't know who that is.
African-American woman. And here, this is why you have me, a millennial, in here teaching you about these things.
Right. I don't know who that is. I'm usually pretty good with that stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
But she just looked crazy. Personally, to me, if you looked at her outfit, she had on a blue top with some weird biker pant shorts. And I don't want to speak on women for real, but you can speak on what she looks like, and she just looked crazy. But
that's what they want. They want to look crazy, so they get the headlines.
That's weird to me, though. I feel like if you can make a statement to look great, but you should really focus on who you're making that outfit for.
Yeah, well, you know what? If I put a red carpet, nobody would want to see it, but I'd wear a dress just to.
Brian, please don't.
Just to make the headlines.
Brian, please don't.
I'm wearing a Versace. So tell me, what are you wearing? I'm wearing a Versace dress,
no. Oh, actually, you know what?
I'm going to donate it to charity.
Let me take it back. If you want to wear that, I support it because I don't want anybody coming for me. I want you to live the way you want to live. But
some of our callers wouldn't like that.
Listen, but
they would accuse me of being a mass shooter, probably. But
but you will also be standing next to me, and we are a brand, Brian.
There you go.
We can't be doing that.
That's my brand.
Also, too, I just want to give you an update. Jonathan Major's attorney does expect his assault and harassment charges will be dropped following his recent arraignment. So I want to put that out there.
Yeah. Also,
we do have news, and I just want to put this out there because I don't want to really say this is news, but I do want to get your opinions because I feel like you're gonna have a really heavy one. So do you know who Lori Harvey is?
I don't know who any of these people are. No, I don't know who's Lori Harvey.
Please go to Google.
I don't know.
Okay, so Lori Harvey is obviously Steve Harvey's stepdaughter.
Oh, okay.
And
she obviously I know who Steve Harvey is.
Okay, that's why I said obviously for the Steve Harvey
I do know who that is.
And she is just a gorgeous heartthrob. However,
isn't this the chick who got into a car accident and it was like I remember this was on TMZ several years ago.
Wait, Lori
Harvey? I could be wrong. I thought Steve Harvey's daughter got into a car accident a couple of years ago in Beverly Hills. No? All right, well, go ahead. Don't worry. I don't want to distract you. Go ahead.
Well, wait, hold on. Lori Harvey gets probation in a hit and run case.
See, I was right. See, I'm not so stupid. I know what I'm talking about.
Mercedes SUV.
I do know who she is.
I'm glad I was able to Google that real quick. See, that's why I didn't give you a definite answer. But yes, Lori Harvey is actually known for being very public with a lot of her relationships, and she's currently in a relationship with Damson Idris. Do you know who Damson Idris is?
No.
You don't know who Damson Idris is?
I don't.
Sir,
somebody that probably got into a hit and run too.
No.
Who is it? Tell me, who is it?
Oh my gosh. Okay, so Damson Idris, he's this now apparently this new heartthrob. He has a lot of different acting gigs out there that I can't say we all because apparently you know who he is, but a lot of people in my age range watch. He currently is known for his role on Swarm right now with Chloe Bailey and many other amazing artists. But she is actually dating Damson Idris, right? And what my question to you is, she is very public with a lot of her relationships, and she gets dragged a lot because let's say
what does she do for a living?
Oh, great question.
What has she accomplished in her life?
So listen, she's known
This is another Paris Hilton. Like, what is Steve Harvey is a talented comic and actor. What has his daughter done? Like,
she's done a lot in the industry. I mean, she is a LA model. You know, she was signed to LA Model Management Agency.
I'm a Vegas model. Who cares?
But as well as Select Model Management. I mean, she does a lot of modeling. She's a heartthrob.
I wonder how she got that job. I wonder. I'm sure she worked really hard in the industry to get that job.
She's walked a lot of runways. I mean, you have to be beautiful to get in these positions. Apparently, allegedly.
By the way, I walked a runway once. I'm being serious. By the way, I did. But I really did. You don't even want to hear my story?
No, I don't want to hear.
Care more about Steve Harvey's daughter and who she's dating?
Because Brian, I need to get to the point of this story.
What is the point? Go ahead.
Point of this story, because again, this is more just a lighthearted news. She's known for dating a lot of men and being public with it. When she's over you, and she's on to the next. My question to you is, what's your thought on a woman who's openly living her life, dating men as much as she wants, whenever she wants, with no consequences in her personal life? What's your thoughts?
Well, I mean, some people would use certain words to
No,
describe her, but
okay.
I wouldn't do that because I think women should be allowed, just like men. Like I would say the same thing about Garoppolo, even though he's more of a private guy. People are allowed to date who they like. I don't have a problem with that. I think she should be allowed to date whoever she wants to. It sounds to me that she's not a very talented person.
Oh, we can't do that though.
Well, that's
you
my
don't think
opinion.
models are talented?
I don't think Steve Harvey's daughter is very talented. She's known for a hit and run, and I don't know her for anything else.
We all make mistakes.
Her father is a very talented comedian.
He is.
And
TV show host.
I don't know anything about her that she's done. I mean, I don't know. Like I said, I walked a runway before.
Okay.
I was 21.
Tell me your story, Brian. Please.
Then we got to take a break. I was 21 years old. I was on the tennis team at Central Connecticut State University.
Okay.
And we traveled to Florida for a match, and we were staying at a hotel, and there was actually a real runway show.
Okay.
Model runway show going on, maybe like 200 or 300 people there.
Okay.
So we're walking by this room, and 3 people on the team said, I'll pay you $20. Well, I'll pay you $20 if you go in there and you just jump on stage and do the runway.
Okay.
Said, well, you shouldn't have told me to do that because I'm going to do it. They didn't think I was going to do it. I walked right into the room. I walked right on stage behind the models, and I just did my little walk.
Is that how much you cost?
$20,
Brian?
No, $60. It was 3 people. And it was hilarious. And that was at a time where a lot of us didn't have cell phones because, trust me, it would have been great. I did my little runway, and I walked off. And then all the stares I was getting from people was really funny. That was my 10 seconds of fame on a runway, and I bet you I did a lot better than Steve Harvey's daughter.
Okay, so I before we go to break, I do have one more news headline.
Right,
so this has actually been really breaking the news on a lot of different blogs. Black China, do you know who that is? Please say yes. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Jesus. You know who somebody is.
Not much of a fan of Black China either, but go ahead.
Okay, but perfect.
Yes.
This is where the story is going to go.
Yes.
Black China is actually rebranding herself. She's getting rid of a lot of her
She's going to be white China?
Oh, my Jesus.
Go ahead.
Brian.
I'm sorry.
She's getting rid of a lot of her
white Japanese. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
She's getting rid of a lot of her fillers. She's getting rid of a lot of her butt shots. She's also getting rid of the demonic.
Wait, she's getting rid of her butt shots?
Yes. She's also getting.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, she's reversing
That's
a lot of her.
Unfortunate.
She's reversing a lot of her surgeries, and she's also removing demonic tattoos that she's had. She's also going on.
I'm sure she'll look so much better.
She's also going on this huge rebranding journey and apologizing to a lot of the different people and different actresses and other strippers that she's affected in her journey. And she's really trying to better herself. She's also was baptized, and so she is following Jesus and she claims Jesus Christ as her Lord and Savior. What's your thought on that? Do you believe that people who've done bad, who've negatively affected our community and children and women can turn around, rebrand themselves, and start anew?
It's an interesting way to rebrand yourself to get rid of your ass. That's a very interesting way to do that. She had butt shots, right?
Yes,
she had butt shots, right? Yeah. I wonder how Jesus Christ would think about that, about plastic surgery. He probably wouldn't like it.
You don't think so?
No, I don't think he would like
because
people
we're all
doing something
wonderfully
fake.
made. Okay.
I don't speak for Jesus Christ, but
I'm glad you said that.
If I was his PR person, I would probably say that he doesn't condone people augmentations of their body.
But we have free will though, and she
has the right. If you want to look ridiculous, you have the right to.
You think? Oh wait, clarify that. You think butt shots and surgery is ridiculous?
I think fake butts and fake lips and.
Ooh, you are about to get dragged.
Well, I mean, it's not my thing. If people enjoy looking at that sort of fake stuff, then they have the right to do so. I'm just not one of those people. I prefer au naturel.
How can you be for women's rights and say that, Brian?
This isn't about women. It's about men too.
Okay.
Men get plastic surgery all the time.
And that's wrong.
It could be nose. It could be whatever. It could be calves, whatever.
Is there anything on your body you want to change, Brian? Oh, you went silent.
Well,
I'd have to ball drop sound. More mic drop.
Well, I'd have to think about that. But even if I did want a full head of hair,
okay,
or
that counts.
If I wanted a larger member, for example,
a member,
I wouldn't do it.
Okay, why not?
Because it's fake. Be who you are. People are so insecure. Be who you are. And
are you secure with your head currently?
Which one?
Oh,
that one.
Your head, the lack of head of hair.
I'm totally okay with it, my man. And people say, well, why do you wear hats all the time? I've been wearing hats since I was 15 years old.
Can you prove it in pictures?
Absolutely.
Okay, I want to see one.
High school
Show me
pictures.
one tomorrow.
I will. I used to wear hats when I was 15.
We're gonna get an update on that tomorrow.
Absolutely. Well, speaking of, this is an interesting topic with our next guest. I'll leave it at that. But coming up next, we're going to be speaking to some local comics who happen to women. And I know Jamie's very excited about
Very
that.
excited.
So
welcome to LA.
Yes.
Oh, no, shoot. Vegas.
Yes.
I keep saying LA.
Yes.
Vegas.
We're going to switch topics. I want to tell you guys about my favorite gaming bar in town, Jackson's Bar and Grill, located at Flamingo and Jones. Actually, we're headed out there for lunch today. And Brian and Robin are great people. They have great promotions. March is almost over, but if you get 200 points on a slot machine, you get $50 in free slot play. They have some great sign-up deals, great food, great atmosphere, great bartenders, great place to play, man. Check them out. Jackson's Bar and Grill. Our poor secretary out there at KSHP has 3 dominatrix women out there, so I'm going to relieve her of her duties, and I'm going to allow them to come in studio now. We'll take a quick break. We'll be back right after this. You're listening to Pushing the Limits right here.
You sure are.
On KSHP.
And don't forget, guys, follow us on all of our social media accounts at PTL Radio Show. Again, KSHP live here.
Hey everybody, it's Brian Shapiro from Pushing the Limits. I want to tell you guys about Sahara West Urgent Care and Wellness. They're conveniently located on the southwest corner of Sahara and Jones. They're open Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. and Saturday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. At Sahara West Urgent Care, they'll take care of all your healthcare needs. They offer routine services such as physicals, STD testing, car accident treatment, and work injuries. You name it, they do it. They have on-site X-ray, EKG, ultrasound, and labs. They treat chronic conditions such as asthma, blood pressure, diabetes, and more. They also offer general wellness exams, treatments such as testosterone enhancement and cancer screening. They're located on Sahara, 6125 West Sahara Avenue. Their number is 702-248-0554. And the best part, they accept most major insurances and affordable cash pay prices, office visits starting at just $95. And I'm also a client, so please give them a call, 702-248-0554.
Hey, everybody, are you struggling to find a pizza place that reminds you of Brooklyn? That true blue New York style pie? Well, worry no more. Salone's Italian Eatery Pizza is a knockout. Located at 467 East Silverado Ranch Boulevard, just off Greenway Road, half a mile east of South Montecito, just minutes from the Las Vegas Strip. Come by and grab a slice of pie. Plus, check out our Brooklyn-inspired Italian cuisine. Our sandwiches are super. Hero, that is. Because why be a sub when you can be a hero? Salone's Italian Eatery is here to serve you phenomenal food, Vegas. Forget about it.
Look, it's impossible for the average person to find a great attorney out there. There's so much misinformation. Now, let me introduce you to former Chief Deputy District Attorney Thomas Moskal. He was Las Vegas's top DUI prosecutor for years. He prosecuted the most high-profile DUI cases in Clark County. No one knows more about DUI law in Nevada. Just Google it. If you get charged with DUI, whether it's a misdemeanor or even more importantly, a felony, you need Thomas Moskal representing you. His relationships with the prosecutors and judges and his knowledge of DUI law to work for you. So give him a call now or text him at 702-848-5555. It's your life and liberty that's at stake. Don't wait. Call now. That number again, 702-848-5555. Hey everybody, it's Brian Shapiro from Pushing the Limits. I want to tell you guys about Sahara West Urgent Care and Wellness. They're conveniently located on the southwest corner of Sahara and Jones. They're open Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. and Saturday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. At Sahara West Urgent Care, they'll take care of all your healthcare needs. They offer routine services such as physicals, STD testing, car accident treatment, and work injuries. You name it, they do it. They have on-site X-ray, EKG, ultrasound, and labs. They treat chronic conditions such as asthma, blood pressure, diabetes, and more. They also offer general wellness exams, treatments such as testosterone enhancement and cancer screening. They're located on Sahara, 6125 West Sahara Avenue. Their number is 702-248-0554. And the best part, they accept most major insurances and affordable cash pay prices, office visits starting at just $95. And I'm also a client, so please give them a call, 702-248-0554.
Welcome to Hash House A Go-Go, where we've been serving farm food and crafted cocktails for over 2 decades. Visit us for the full Hash House experience at any of our 5 Las Vegas locations. Hash House A Go-Go is where old school meets new and gets twisted. We bring people together over good food and fun. Come in for breakfast, lunch, or dinner, and come hungry because our portions are huge. Visit us online to see our entire menu at hashhouseagogo.com. Hash House A Go-Go. It's a Midwest thing, and there's nothing else like it.
Is your dog suffering from a sensitive stomach? Hi, it's Kelly the Cookie Lady from Mooch's Munchies. Our dogs had super sensitive tummies, and I needed to find a low-fat treat that wouldn't give them gas or other issues. Most of the treats on the market were loaded with fillers, chemicals, and chicken fat. Many of them weren't even food. Well, I knew I could do better, so I developed Mooch's Munchies, and I'm happy to be able to share them with you. Stop by our store or our website, moochesmunchies.com, and find out why we say that Mooch's Munchies are totally pawsome.
Zen World Premium CBD offers full and broad spectrum CBD oil, extracts, and capsules, which are designed to help you feel your best. Their products are sourced from the best organic hemp and natural ingredients on the market and are tested for quality, purity, and potency. They have a full range of items from health and wellness to beauty to pets. Call 725-205-9223. Visit online at zenworld.com or stop by their location at 9895 South Maryland Parkway and Silverado Ranch Parkway. Mention KSHP for 10% off in store or use code KSHP online for 15% off.
All right, welcome back. Limits on a Tuesday. Thank you so much for joining us. I always enjoy speaking with different acts, comedians, and entertainers in Las Vegas. We do it all the time on this show, and this segment's no exception. I've never been to a kinky comedy show before.
That sounds
fun.
fun.
We have 3 lovely ladies in the studio. One of them has been on this show plenty of times before. Lila, Mistress K, and Carla. They're hosting a kinky comedy show tonight at the Artifice. I don't know if I've ever been there. The show is at 10 p.m. tonight. And I like the outfits, by the way, ladies. Thank you so much for being here. How are you? Yes.
It's a uniform.
So
okay.
You
look like the manager.
So what is a thank you, ladies, for being here, by the way. What is a kinky comedy show? What does this entail?
I've been a pro dom for 11 years.
Okay, what is a pro dom?
I'm a dominatrix. Right?
Ooh,
do everything that your partner, your wife, your boyfriend won't do for money.
So basically, have sex with them. No, I'm just kidding.
No, there's no sex involved.
I'm kidding. Yes, go
I
ahead.
actually make more money punching them than sucking them.
Oh, easy. Let's be easy with the language. Yes, I get where you're going with that.
It's still so radio.
I get where you're going with that. Okay, so basically, you're a dominatrix. You're hired, and that's legal.
Yeah.
There's a legal, so it's not considered sex. What is that considered under
I'm
the
a
law?
fantasy maker.
Okay.
It's
So it's like getting a nice massage, basically. Is that fair to say,
it's
right?
like that. Basically, I'm pay for play.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? If you don't
So
have
how
any
does that-
friends,
but how
I have
does
a lot
that-
of people that just want to talk to me.
How is that implemented in a comedy show?
So the comedy is basically my 2 worlds coming together. So I've been a comedian now for going on 6 years.
Okay.
And what you'll see at this show that you won't see at any other show on the strip or at a comedy club is you're going to see kinky acts. So you're going to see not only people doing comedy, but the comedy itself is going to be kinky.
Okay.
It's going to be raunchy. It's going to be sexy.
So you don't want, this is not an 18 and under.
No, this
it's
is
21 and over.
you have to wear a consent band if you're allowing
Oh.
the performers to touch you.
And do you have to sign something as well?
No, just a band. And again, spankings are extra. So it's just it's like touching, petting.
So you're
sitting
up
on
there on
laps.
stage and you're going to be telling jokes, but there's also going to be a little kinky stuff going on, maybe some light spanking and,
Of course.
and other stuff. Okay, so it's
Someone
about having a
always
good
leaves
time.
with a sore bottom.
You wouldn't.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Well,
And do they like that?
They love it. They
love
pay
it?
extra for that.
So this isn't a conservative comedy show.
This is definitely not. But there are a lot of Trumpers in the audience.
Interesting. Those are the same Trumpers that probably go against everything that you're doing, but yet they're there.
Those are
interesting.
my
isn't it?
customers.
Yes,
Those are my target
so
audience.
is this a 21 and over show, or can you be 18? Like,
No,
how
it's
does that work?
Artifice is a 21 plus
Okay.
club.
Okay.
Artifice is the oldest golf club in Vegas. It's been there, I don't even know, longer than I've been around on this planet. So
is this a one deal show, or are you doing this on a regular basis?
We're going to be there every second and fourth Tuesday of the month. So it's basically
okay.
every other Tuesday at 10.
Jamie's going to check this out tonight.
I might say, yeah, bring me.
Does Jamie get a complimentary ticket?
You guys are already on the list.
Oh,
so,
okay. Listen, and it's at 10 o'clock tonight.
Yeah.
Oh, how long does it last?
It's only a 90-minute show.
Till you finish. Do I get any of the special effects and the treatments?
I mean, if you want to, if you want to wear the band.
It'd be a great way to report on what you guys do.
Jamie
I need some real life experience. Ooh, a
Wait,
siren.
If you wear leather, Jamie, we will get you on that stage and treat you right, baby.
What kind of leather? Do I have to put like a top or a bottom or
just
a whole
come
suit?
pretty? Just come pretty.
You could just wear a trash bag. You're pretty cute.
Oh,
yeah,
I appreciate that. Okay,
For me, I look like a trash bag, so I don't need a trash bag. All right, so if you're just joining us, we are speaking with the lovely ladies in studio, Delilah, Mistress K, and Carla. They have a show tonight. It's called Kinky Comedy. It's interesting because, you know, I love comedy. I love stand-up comedy, and I love a little raunchiness as well. I'm trying to think of who some of my favorite. You know, I used to love Bob Saget. He was really raunchy on stage, and he was always one of my favorite comics. But you'd never expect that from him. We expect that from you with the outfits that you're wearing. There's going to be a little bit of raunchiness going on, right? You expect walking in there.
Although I did do a show with children that asked me to dance afterwards that were 3 and 4, and I got a picture.
See, that's where all the Republicans,
dominatrix.
All the Republicans would have a problem.
They're gonna
with
hate that.
Yeah.
Our
indoctrinating our
debut
kids. Yeah, you're indoctrinating our kids. That's
I know. Forget the drag queens. It's really the dominatrixes out here.
Yeah, forget about all the horrible stuff going on in the world. You're indoctrinating our kids by dancing in front of them,
teaching them self-esteem and stand up for yourself and woman empowerment.
Okay.
So how many comedians are going to be at the show tonight?
There's only 5.
5
so
comedians.
It's a very small lineup.
All dominatrix women.
No.
Will there be adult beverages at this?
It's a good time for me
tonight?
to jump in and say I'm the headliner. I am not a dominatrix.
Okay.
In fact, after hanging with these ladies, I need to call every man I've been with and apologize for being nothing more than a weighted blanket with benefits. My kink is I would like you. Is it Jamie?
Me, Jamie D.
I'd
Yes.
like you to come over and do my roots while I watch Shark Tank. I
would like to
I
see
have
that.
no
That's
clue
my
what
kink.
that means, but I'll do it for you.
You don't need to know what it means.
Does that mean I get paid to play? Yeah.
Depends on what you wear.
Jamie, you're still paying me for the.
Oh, I have to pay you?
They've taught me.
Yes.
I'm just a
Cash up
apprenticee.
front.
I'm just a
Okay.
apprenticee.
Jamie
Okay.
should be a part of
I'm
your
an
show
intern.
tonight, actually.
Let me host it.
Jamie should be a part of it. How much does it cost for tickets tonight?
Tickets are $15 at the door.
Oh, that's very.
And what can
it costs more to get a Big Mac and fries and a soda at McDonald's
Facts.
these
I
days.
spent-
Or a package of eggs. So
I know,
seriously.
right? Yeah, that's Joe Biden's fault.
So can you tell us what to actually expect at tonight's show?
Yeah.
Well, spanking.
So
obviously.
I just want to let you know there's really nothing to expect. Anything is up for grabs.
Literally
anything.
Our
Literally.
first show,
Oh.
I remarried a couple on stage.
Oh,
No
Because,
way.
You know,
That's cool.
who needs to get married by Elvis these days? It's dominatrix.
Right.
I'm also doing kids parties and buffet mitzvahs. So if
Wait,
you-
what do you wait? Pause. You're doing kids parties. You did speak about that earlier today.
Yes.
What exactly are you doing at these kids parties?
Oh, nothing. They were just in the audience.
Oh.
She's joking.
And
Yeah,
the
she's
little boy was like, "You are so beautiful. Can I dance with you?" And I was like, "Sure." I was like,
Okay.
"I knew my future."
Oh my
we
God,
have
that
to make
sounds
sure
awful.
people know. We have to make sure people knew what you're talking about.
We know what she's doing at bat mitzvahs.
Okay.
She's making men.
Okay. Oh, okay.
I like that. So, what type of audience do you have here? A different array
All
of
over the
different
place.
people, or
So this is
women
a
and
show-
men, right?
Yes, but this is a show for people that are not only in the kink community, but also people that are vanilla, that are like, I like 50 Shades of Grey, which was a terrible movie.
Yeah, I agree.
So it's kind of, it's like an amalgamation for people that appreciate it, but also people that are like, I have no idea, except for handcuffs.
Here's what I would like all three of you to do. I'm going to give you this invite. So we're going to be doing a lot of live remotes at the Sapphire Pool starting in late April when the pool season starts. So I would like to invite all three of you to one of our shows. In uniform, if that's okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right, that'd be good.
It gets smaller in the summer.
Good.
Oh, it does? Okay.
Yes.
And
For
more
me, it
revealing?
gets, for me, it gets smaller in the swimming pool, but that's another story for another show.
Right.
But
Not if we're around, sir. Not if
We
we're
will
around.
come dressed in less material than Dane Cook's act.
Oh, I like
I'm
that.
kidding, Dane. He
Are there any
That
like
is not.
name me like a famous like what's your like your is there a kinky comedian like that you could think of that is like mainstream?
Besides me?
Besides you. Yeah, besides you.
No, that's why this has never been done before.
Yeah, it's
honey.
not really
I'm
a
pioneer.
thing. Yeah.
And are you the one who started this?
I'm trailblazing. Yes.
You're the one who started this entire movement.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm whipping people into submission.
Now, okay, real quick, you did say that you're not actually having sex with any of the participants.
That would be illegal.
Right. But what do you do when somebody that you're with, training or helping or servicing, acts out?
PG-13.
Yes, again, radio. This is radio.
There are rules and boundaries that are put into place prior to I even meeting a person.
Mhm.
But if you want to hear more about that, you have to come to the show because that's what I talk about on stage.
Okay,
So
exciting.
No freebies.
I want to describe your, would you call it a purse? It's got on the purse, it says bad bitch, which is very, very interesting.
It's a
yeah.
fuel tank.
Yeah.
I can't afford gas, but I can afford a wonderful purse.
I really like your purse, by the way. It's very interesting.
And there's booze in there?
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, so this is actually from one of the vendors that's vending at the show tonight. So we have local artists that are selling their wares. And this is by Temptress, the Vegas Temptress. So she's going to be there selling all her amazing bags and accessories and clothing. So
God, I feel so boring. I'm going to the NIT Final Four tonight, basketball games.
Well, I'm going to their show.
Brian. Are you really going to go, Jamie?
I'm going. No, I'm serious. Wait, can I bring a friend? I'm new here, so.
Absolutely.
I'm not really.
One more. We only have 1 minute left. This segment went by really fast. I want to give you. Or actually, what am I talking about? It's 1:45. Is that the right time?
Yes.
We have 10 minutes. I don't know why. I don't know why I thought it was 1:55. I'm verklempt. You guys are affecting my.
He already finished, and now he's throwing us out.
Yeah.
Typical man.
Typical man. Yeah.
Typical man. I'm done now.
That's very funny, actually. So, how long is the show? You said it's 90 minutes, correct?
90 minutes. We have comedy. We have kinky acts. We have dancers. We have people that are going to rub you down. So
there's no nudity though, right?
There's no nudity. It's like burlesque style. So again,
can you do me a favor just for Mistress K? Can we see what Jamie looks like wearing your hat?
Why? Oh, Brian.
Possible?
I'm with it though. I'm with it.
And then on a scale of 1 to 10,
Jamie going on stage. You gonna work? You gonna work the door, Jamie?
I'm having
work
some
the door
feelings.
tonight.
I'm having some new feelings.
Hold on, wait. Here's my.
I think Carla might pay Jamie to come over.
I'm excited. Listen on.
Let's change the game.
So, Carla, how long have you been doing comedy?
I've been doing comedy for over 10 years. Now.
Okay, so you've been doing it for a while. You performed all over the place, not just Vegas.
Yes, yeah. I'm originally from Canada, and I live in LA.
Originally from Canada.
Yes,
What-
Drakeland.
Canada to LA. What was Canada like? You just wanted to get out of there, or what? It's a little more conservative.
No,
We're going to Canada there, eh?
Canada is
The hockey
not more
fans there, eh?
conservative. Canada is much more like Europe. They're
Really?
Yeah, the U.S. kind of more has Puritan porn. Canada is way more open and European than
Interesting.
the U.S. They're just more down low here.
Did you ladies go to the AVN Awards?
The Aviano?
Yeah, the porn awards are here every year.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
We're
No,
not
You
in
went?
that. That's a different
No,
field.
that's a
love.
different thing.
But isn't dominatrix and that type of field, isn't that similar to what some of the expo people are selling and doing with the whips and stuff like that? Because I've seen that at the expo.
Yeah.
It's adjacent, but it's completely two different fields.
So how does
that's like comparing a tennis player to a football player.
Fair enough.
They're both sports.
So obviously, and obviously you ladies are not prostitutes. That's not what I'm saying. But obviously,
I'm not even a dominatrix.
I know.
She's like, I'm just here.
You're just a comedian. You're just a boring comedian. No, but prostitution is legal in Pahrump, right? I'm trying to understand though this field. Yes, I know it's called dominatrix, but there are some things you're doing that are sexual, but yet is it still legal? I'm trying to understand that.
Yes.
It is. So how does it work? If somebody approaches you and says, I want to be dominated, I want to be whipped, or whatever else some of these people want to be done, like what is the charge? Do you charge different things for what people want, or how does that work?
Well, for you, I'd double the price.
Oh,
too many questions. I
smart
love it's always
Smart
a man
lady.
that wants to know my price list right off the
Well,
top.
I just don't understand how the
it's
industry
more like
works.
therapy. So
Yes.
look at it as therapy.
Okay.
So just to let you know, like I have people that want to give me foot massages. I have people that buy
Fair
my
enough.
toenails online.
Mhm.
I
Wow.
have, I have people that want to give me.
Oh, so they service you as well.
So again,
So if I wanted you to just beat the crap out of me for an hour, what would that charge? What would that be?
like I said, whatever.
I'll do it
price-
for Wait,
whatever you're
question.
thinking, double it.
Wait, question. Will I be charged to just watch that happen?
Yeah, Yes, we're selling tickets tonight at Artifact
See?
at 10.
Yes.
How long have you been a dominatrix for?
11 years.
What made you want to get into it?
Yeah, good question.
I used to sell adult novelty products, and I had a lot of clients that had house parties that were swingers.
Mhm.
And this guy was kind of skeevy and came up to me, and I put him down in his place, and I was like, "You're a piece of crap. No one will ever love you." And this dominatrix came over to me, and she's like, "Don't ever do that again."
Well, that's what women say
And I
to me
said,
at the end of
"What?"
every date I
said,
have.
"What?
so-
What?" And I was like, "Oh my God, I've offended a guest." And she said, "No." She's like, "You can charge men money for what you just did."
Look at that. You made a career out of it.
Right.
Has
I
Pauly
did.
Shore ever hired you?
No, but I've run into Pauly Shore plenty of times at the Comedy Store.
Any celebrities that we would know that have hired you?
I don't
There must
disclose
be
my
dominatrix
But say yeah.
confidentiality.
Is there an NDA
It's like
that you have
a
to sign?
doctor, yeah.
People pay for silence, sir.
It's like
Wait,
for
do you also sign? Like, do you have to
There's a
sign?
consent form.
Okay.
Just like tonight, when you come to the show, there's a consent bracelet,
Mhm.
and that basically just says that the performer can touch you. Now, again, there's no services that are rendered at
Yeah.
these shows. Okay,
So,
this is for comedy,
enough.
but it's with a kinky.
So
twist.
Harvey Weinstein has never hired you for anything.
Oh.
Kevin Spacey. No.
God, he's into boys.
They couldn't afford it either way.
Okay.
Well, if somebody's into boys, they would still hire somebody to do right. I mean,
They would hire a
Wait.
they wouldn't hire a
pro dom who's
woman,
male.
right?
Wait,
fair
so
enough.
real quick though, because you did say that with your industry there isn't any sex. I've seen in Europe there's dominatrix that do enact sex acts with their clients. What's the difference?
Well, that would be illegal though. She's not gonna,
Right.
Yeah.
So that is not something that probably they're paying for, and
Right.
that is a relationship based.
Mhm.
So there's a difference between being pro, and
Mhm.
there's a difference between just being in the lifestyle.
Right.
Now, lifestyle people can do whatever they want, and it may lead to sex,
Mhm.
but not always.
Okay.
So that, again, I don't know that particular person's situation,
Right.
Right.
but those are completely two
How would
different
you?
That's good.
avenues.
How
That's
would
good.
you deal with somebody that is just, as you would use the term, vanilla? They're afraid of dominatrix people. Sexually, I'm sure they're probably very boring. And if they come up to you and say, "Oh no, I'm not interested in that," what do you say to them?
Oh, that's like every man I've ever dated.
Ooh. Ooh.
Well, I say I don't have a lot of second dates, but I do have a lot of repeat customers.
But, people, but a lot
They're
of people
into
are
it.
afraid
Right.
until they try it. Is that fair
Right.
to say?
Listen, people are into a lot of things and they don't know what to classify it as, and that's
Okay.
why there's such a large umbrella of just kink. So
Okay.
anything that's out of the purview of just quote unquote normal stuff, like if you like to smell women's underwear, that's a kink.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I sell underwear, by the way. Follow me on YouTube.
Of course it is
For the record, in my
Lila.
42-year-old life, no one's ever wanted to smell my underwear.
Like, for example,
You better get that free promo.
Some men like to have sports on in the background.
Okay.
When things are happening.
Okay, well that's me.
Wait.
That's a kink.
So real quick though, with all these kinks and different acts you can do, what is your safe word? Can you tell us that? Is that too much to ask?
No, we don't play together. You will never know.
What? I can't know your safe word?
No.
I have
Do
to
this-
play to know?
Can I ask you, do you do this in your
Ah.
private life too?
Yes, I do. And then I do nothing, and I'd be very vanilla. I'm a pill princess because Mama's tired.
It's
Okay.
fair to say that some people in marriages that have been together, I don't know, 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, that in some ways this type of stuff can save your marriage.
100%.
Yeah.
I will say that anytime that you're experiencing a different avenue with your partner, you become more honest about things that you really like. I will say though, don't do it because then you're going to cut into my profit margins.
You do role playing, right? That's a part of that as well.
I have
right?
I have
Yeah.
a lot of people that are like, my wife doesn't know I'm here. I'm like, shocker.
Right.
I have a client that I slap with meat periodically, and he's just like, my wife doesn't know I'm here. I'm like, obviously.
Of course
Right.
you do.
I was
Don't you
like,
think it'd be
Also,
better
his
though?
wife is vegan, so it's
Oh wow.
That's a double disrespect.
Don't you
Right.
think it'd be better if the wife did know and was in the room? Wouldn't that be more of a turn on to the
Right.
man?
That's always fun.
So
Yeah.
I have clients that come in as couples, and I do training classes so that they can go home and they have homework assignments.
Okay, nice.
All right, so
Like
Jamie's
therapy for real.
Jamie's
Yeah,
going to be at the
therapy.
show tonight, so I'm going to get a
I'll be
full
there.
report from him on the air tomorrow.
I love it. We're
Is
gonna
there-
give you a dog collar. Just
Ooh.
you around.
Ooh,
I
I'm
want.
excited.
Are you really going to do that?
Yeah, why not?
Oh wow, that's
Okay,
gonna be
cool.
fun.
Only
Listen.
if you wear the consent.
Okay,
badge.
I can sit. Ooh.
So what does
Wait,
that?
wait,
air.
pause, wait, pause,
Get 'em
pause.
on
Wait,
air.
pause, because you got me on air. You said I can know your safe word if we play together. That's play to me.
You're coming to the show. It's a different
So is that kind of like if you go into a haunted house with physical touch, you have to sign a consent form? Does everybody that's going to the show have to sign something like that?
No, they just put a band on. That's what that
So
is.
if you're wearing the band, you're allowed to touch them. But if people don't want to be touched, then they're not touched, right? They
and
just
they're
enjoy
not
the
wearing
show.
a band.
Right. So that's fair. So it's like, it's not like you go to the show and you're, oh, I don't want to be touched. I'm afraid. If you're not wearing the band, you might be a wussy, but if you're not wearing the band, you're not
Vanilla preference. Remember that whole thing?
Depends on who the stranger is.
Global
That
pepperoni?
pesky thing.
You could just be a germaphobe. You might
Right.
not be vanilla.
That's true.
Some women changed their mind during the show. There was a young woman who said it was her birthday. And I said, would you like to motorboat me on stage for your birthday?
Oh, wow.
And it was fantastic. I switched teams.
Delilah, can I ask
Goodbye,
you
gentlemen.
something? This is kind of like an insider joke, but people that listen to the show for all know. Whatever happened to you and Chris Wynn? You guys not talk anymore?
He ghosted me.
Oh.
Did he really?
He ghosted me.
This is a fact.
He walked me to the parking lot. I put the strap on, and he never came back.
No, but I was trying to. I thought you and Chris would be a nice match. You think Chris is a little afraid?
You
of you?
know I scared the life out of Chris. We
You
ain't
did.
get that far.
Would you consider Chris vanilla?
Oh,
Oh yeah. Oh, I'm sorry, Chris. I'm sorry. Now I have a question
He
for you
needs
too.
me though. He
we're
needs me to
we almost
open
gotta
up.
go. I want to give you an opportunity before we go because we only got a minute now.
Oh, we don't have a minute. Yeah, never mind.
Promote the show. That's why you're here.
Yeah.
We got a minute here. Tell people, give people the information. Why should they go?
Well, it's Interesting Stinky Comedy. We're at Artifice second and Tuesday of the month at 10 p.m. It's where kink and comedy come together and have a baby, incestuous baby, that I've birthed. And you have to come tonight because Carla Collins, she is phenomenal. I mean, she should have a
Very
Netflix
funny.
special.
I'm doing her roots tonight.
Netflix, you heard it here first.
Yes, very funny. And how
Yes,
do people
Carla.
get tickets? They just show up to the
You can get them on Eventbrite, but you can come to the door, 15 at the door, and yeah.
I'm excited.
I'm not able to attend the show tonight, but I can promise you that eventually I will go to the show.
April 11th is the next one, darling.
Good. I will attend another show. But Jamie, you're going to be going, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna be there. You'll see me.
We're gonna convert Jamie tonight.
Ooh, wait, convert me to what?
You're never gonna not want to come to the show.
Woo!
Well, I'm going to get a full report card from Jamie on the air.
Wait, do I look vanilla to you all? I look vanilla to you? Oh, you don't know. Thank you, Carla. High five, Carla. I'm about to say you don't know.
Ladies, thank you so much for being here. You all are a lot of fun, and I'm sure it's going to be a great show, and it's going to be a lot of fun. And that's what this is all about. It's about entertainment, people laughing, having a good time. You know, we talked about some pretty serious topics all the time on this show, but it's nice to be able to go to an event and have a good time. And I'm sure that people are going to be having a lot of fun tonight. And eventually I will be at the show, but Jamie's going to be there. So
I am.
yes, I promise. Yes, that is very, very true. Laughter is a release. Ladies, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it. All right. That's a wrap, everybody. Tomorrow we'll be back at it again on Pushing Limits, Dominatrix or no Dominatrix. We will be here. And I appreciate all of you for joining us. And please check us out on the social media platforms that we have. Well, folks, we're late. We got to go. So thank you, everybody, for being here. And we'll see you tomorrow, same time, same place. Have a great day.